crazy. Legendary.
Perfect. Perfect.
What is up, party people? All right, so it's gonna be a fun one. I wanted to first start off by saying yes, tonight I will be hosting fights over at UFC 47 fights over at my MMA server. If you want to join that and watch the fights tonight, it is free. You can do so by the link that is in the description for the MMA channel. Here's the kicker: yes, it is free, but I would appreciate donations to help pay for it. It is I'm gonna get the pay per view. That way, there is no buffering issues, quality's good. We can just sit back and enjoy the fights. The way the server is set up, right off the bat, when you join the server, you'll be able to watch it. And as in, you have the role to watch it. If you want to be able to speak during the fights, just let me know, and I'll just pass you along the viewing and speaking role. I did it that way just so that a lot of people aren't comfortable joining into a voice chat because they don't know if their mic's going to turn on them. If you have just the viewer role, you'll be able to listen, you'll be able to watch, but you will not be able to won't be able to talk. But with the viewer speaker role, obviously you'll be able to watch and talk during the and like I was saying, donations are more than welcomed. Uh, so far so good. I kind of just want to make sure it all works out good, and that enough people are willing to donate that we can make this a regular thing, and then we'll have a nice stream or buffer free stream. There we go. Other as in topic for the day, I don't really have much of a topic, but I have been hearing a lot about the Horizon again, and it's more of the geometric versus apparent. Very simple situation. Something I don't understand why it's still being talked about. Actually, I get why it's being talked about. Great, great circle talk around for a lot of the deniers. But like I was saying before, one of the things that I have noticed is that even on the globe side, and this is both sides. I've in the past 48 hours, I've heard both sides not understand what this conversation is discussed. Let me go ahead. My Wi-Fi. I don't know why internet's acting all funny. I hate Spectrum. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and open up the Discord. What up, no name? Then you'll blink once if you're in trouble. Blink twice. Hear me. All right, so he's not at his microphone at the time. But so we can kind of get into it. Let me go ahead and I haven't done so bad. See what's up to. What's up, Menace to Sobriety? How you doing, sir? Yes, again, like I just kind of explained, getting fights, and for that exact reason that it says streams are getting harder to find these days. Always the same. Streams run smooth for the last fight, then spring nightmare. That's Menace is exactly why I put all that crap. What's up, Nene? What's up, Lori? How you doing? And what's up, Sam? What's up, Fred? What's up, Militant Mene? And what's up, Q? How you doing? Over at guys, anyone who wants to join the panel, my panel is run over at the Discord link now. That is over at the bunker. That link is also in the description. If you want to join and listen in, add to the conversation, or just chat in the live stream text that I have. I don't generally show or share the Discord window unless someone's trying to show something. Not for any real particular reason, just the fact that I like to do it. But other than that, again, we were talking about the Horizon. There are two very distinct differences between the geometric horizon and apparent horizon. Again, a lot of people that I hear talking about this on both sides are getting this wrong. Understand this: the geometric horizon is not a real world measurement, meaning you don't make that measurement when you make your observation. It's something you would do as in blueprint style, figuring out what the tangent line is to your altitude location. Here's the reason why it's a non-real world thing. When you use a geometric horizon, you take out the atmospheric conditions like fraction, uh, haze, blah 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 blah, all the above. Take it out. It's like doing it. It's like the same way we do tests in a vacuum chamber. A geometric horizon is measured the same way. Take all the real world effects out and make a measurement. When we make an observation, The horizon that we all know and love will always be the apparent horizon. Why? Because it's for you. You, the observer, makes the observation, and the horizon will appear to be where it is for you and you alone. If someone is 50 feet, or 50, let's say 5 miles uh, to your left or right, and they're looking at in the same altitude, their horizon is going to be different than yours. Why? Because they're at a different location. If you're at a different altitude, a different distance, everything's going to change the location of that horizon, making it only apparent to the observer for the moment. Again, the geometric horizon does not take into account anything that gives you, like, for instance, if I went in right now on paper said, I want to figure out where the dotted lines or where dotted lines, where the horizon is. I'm going to do this with geometry. I'm going to figure this out. You're going to be getting the geometric horizon. Geometric horizon, the actual horizon when you go outside that same day will be not accurate enough. It will not give you an accurate depiction of where the horizon is. Therefore, it's not accurate in your observation. Is really not too much else to say. It's pretty clear on that. Anyone who wants to fight it, come on and fight it, but that's reality. How you guys doing? How you doing, Q? What's up there? Yeah, just doing a lot of, or been setting up for tonight, but more importantly, I've been just listening in on a lot of the conversations, and we're coming back to that horizon thing again. Oh, and newsflash to the people that didn't know, yes, the coronavirus is 10 miles from my house right now. Thank you. No, I feel, remind me which one. Hmm? Yeah, well, 400 of the, another 400 were brought here to Miramar, California, Miramar, San Diego, California, which is 10 miles from my house. I think in total, 4,000 are coming from China to America. In total. Oh, hell no. Really? Really? That is awesome. This is one of those moments when I will be sharing. I'll share the link with everyone because that is amazing. I didn't think of a million years. It says dog owners buy face masks to protect from deadly coronavirus. Now, we were talking about that. Since the horizon's pretty much set and done, we were talking about oh, god damn it.
They're
There we
saying
go.
they can't hear us. They can only hear
Yeah.
you.
I know, I just saw it. You're good now. If anyone does want to join the panel, you get apostrophe Discord. You'll be, oh, my bad, Menace. I see you. You're good to go. You can come back on. It's a very busy day for me. There you go. Yeah, this dog master insane. I'm pretty sure all the dogs are loving it. It's a new rage.
There are other people who are just abandoning their dogs because they're afraid their dogs are going to get them sick. But then there are other people who are buying their dogs masks.
That's crazy. Now, here's what I'm confused by. So China builds, what is it, 2 hospitals? Oh no, Menace, I hadn't got you your roles yet, so you were able to join and listen. But now you're good to go. I gave you the roles and everything. You need to in the server if you want to jump in. Yeah, and but yeah, from what I was hearing, like China like built like like actual hospitals in like 2 or 3 days or something like that.
Yeah.
10 days, but yeah.
Yeah, well, so still.
I mean, it's still super fucking fast. Yeah, I know what you're saying, man.
I just don't get why
Like
they're
tuberculosis all
flying
over
them.
again.
But why would they fly them here?
Well, everything I've
I
read
don't
said
know.
that they were U.S. citizens that we evacuated. I
No.
can't find anything about Chinese citizens that were brought over here for quarantine purposes.
There are Chinese people in
They may be
Myanmar.
Chinese people, but they're
Yeah, they
probably
No.
American citizens.
Yeah, let me find the
They might have that ethnicity, but their citizenship may be to our country.
Right. They could be Chinese. Yeah, just like what Q's saying. They could be Chinese by birth, but U.S. citizens by, naturalization, or their
Or
parents
they could also be U.S. citizens by birth,
Yeah.
by ethnicity. It's
Exactly.
very confusing.
So so Sean, what I'm saying is that we could both be right. Is what I'm hearing from Q. Is that
Maybe Chinese Americans.
Exactly. Chinese Americans.
They could have been born here. Could have legally applied for a visa, I believe.
Second plane carrying evacuees from Walla Myanmar. And see, I don't know. I'm trying to see if it says. Because it says fifth evacuee from China is under observation. Coronavirus. The first flight arrived Wednesday with 167 evacuees, 5 of whom were hospitalized after developing symptoms that warranted further observation for possible exposure to the coronavirus from
Didn't say
China.
anything about their citizenship.
Doesn't at all.
If they were American citizens, China would have kicked them out for sure.
Okay, hang on.
China been like, we ain't saving you from our disease. Get out.
Damn, that was so racist. It says 4 other people were hospitalized Wednesday afternoon, hours after a plane carrying 167 Americans landed in northern San Diego military base. All passengers underwent medical screening on land. So far, they were American.
Shit's really scary, dude. You better hope there's a real virus.
What do you mean? I better hope there is.
Yo, do you know there's a conspiracy theory going around that says this virus, that Bill Gates owns the patent to it?
What the
Oh,
fuck?
Jesus, really?
Google that shit, dude. Bill Gates owns the patent to the coronavirus.
Oh,
There's like
okay.
some company associated that it's filed under.
Well, I do know the government has been in like the past like 15, 20 years has been putting a lot of thought into biological weaponry.
Oh, you mean like
Biological weapons.
Monsanto?
No. Like the Department of Defense was talking about using like fuck. I forget what it was. It was like some kind of virus or something as a weapon in war. I don't think it was this one. What was the epidemic they had out there before?
In China?
So
SARS or MERS or
I think it was SARS for some reason. They were thinking about using.
Yeah, they had SARS. That was the last one. That's when they all started wearing masks all the time, was after that, I think.
Fuck off. I forget what the hell it was, but yeah, I know they've been doing a lot of talk about biological weapons, and this would be like, yeah, bio warfare. Yeah, exactly. But the problem is yes, bio warfare is illegal. So is using weather as a weapon. Yet they're still
The
studying and
problem,
testing all those things. I don't know.
the problem with things being illegal doesn't mean that they don't happen. That doesn't
Oh,
have
very
anything to
much
do with
so.
whether or not people will
Shit.
do them.
Dr. Bob, there's at least 4 different treaties that say no testing for no geoengineering, testing, studying in the field, And they're about to do that right now against all treaties. So trust me, yeah, illegal don't mean crap to them. They find loopholes is the problem. They've been geoengineering the ocean with ocean fertilization. They do that shit openly, like it's okay to do, because they revamped the treaties to allow it now. It's fucking insane.
It's like a John Lennon quote come to life.
Yeah, matter of fact, the governments, if they started using that, they wouldn't say anything to the people. That'd be the last thing they want to say. They'd be like, "Uh oh, don't tell nobody." Backlash.
I feel like they're not going to get a germ, dude, and make a germ a weapon, because how can they be
Why?
certain that this germ wouldn't mutate and that they would be able to not die from it themselves? It's too risky to themselves. What they would do is they would give everybody a drug that makes them go insane. Like maybe acts like a virus in some way, raises their body temperature, aggravates their amygdala, things like
Uh,
that.
Doc Bob the Science Guy. How do so hot? Or I'm assuming you said how do I know? I'm assuming you're talking to me. Um, yeah. Well, there's a lot of studies and reports out about ocean fertilization and the studies they're doing with dumping iron into
But I'm
the
talking
ocean.
about bioweapons, like
I know, no,
to make a germ and
but
then
I know,
not
but
think that that germ is really going to backfire on you. What are your,
well, I
you know,
would if
like,
they're but if they were making a germ, I think they would probably make sure they made a anti serum or whatever you call it.
yeah, but see, once you release the germ into the open air, it has the potential to mutate with any other, symbiotic sort of germ, I think.
And
I
I
would
mean,
hope
it
they would do
It's
that.
follows
through,
all it
also,
follows
as
all
it
the
passes
trajectory.
through the immune systems of living organisms, especially ones that are consuming antibiotics, it's becoming resistant and it's also mutating further.
And I mean, it's also following the trajectory of other previous outbreaks where it jumped from, say, an animal species to the humans, and then it started passing from human to human. It came out of a freaking like market in Wuhan province, and that's not a hotbed of bioterrorism activity, from what I understand, from what I've read. It was just a market.
Well, I don't think they have very many spit guards out there.
Did you say spit guards?
Yeah, and their buffets.
Yeah, they need more spit guards.
Well,
Or
that's
maybe
what's
they're
crazy
called
about it.
sneeze guards. Maybe they're called
Wait,
sneeze guards.
but
I don't know.
Sneeze guards. Yeah,
but
that's probably it too.
what's confusing to me is so I was also reading in this one of the articles. They were talking about that doctor that outed China's government about it. And so when there started to be like signs of people getting it, some doctor came out and was like, "Yeah, there's an outbreak of this coronavirus in this area." And the government wanted to arrest him, and they made him sign a gag order and said he was playing or something like
That's
that.
because
Basically,
that's because the way China is. China's like somebody who doesn't want China doesn't want you telling anybody what's going on in China. They just want you to think everything is great in China.
but I'm not sure. I'm not
It's
sure
all
if
China's business. So that's why they would do that. Because
I'm
he
not
like
sure. Yeah, but
violated. They don't have free speech in China. He's not allowed to just go on the internet and tell everybody something about China. They think that's high security risk. That's why they suppressed him. Not because of the virus, but just because that's the way they are. They don't have freedom of speech. They're not allowed to do things like that. That's why Hong Kong's protesting. Well, one of the reasons.
okay,
All
so
right.
a doctor at the Ratings Children's Hospital says Dr. John Bradley, medical director of infectious diseases at Rady, said there are no there is was no threat to the public at large nor other patients in either facility. Nobody who comes to Rady's or UCSD has to worry at all. Even the patients test positive, which is unlikely. He said we have really good isolation policies, and they are in special rooms designed for Ebola. which is far worse than coronavirus. Coronavirus is a respiratory illness with similar symptoms to a cold or influenza in most patients, including a fever, difficulty breathing. Both hospitals are following CDC protocol and guidelines.
That's what they want you to believe. Everything good here, China. No worry. That's what they want you to believe. That's what China is.
I mean, this should be a good way of showing how easy an outbreak could happen.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Well, I would think that.
Hello?
Yeah.
Nah, you're not there.
One thing that I noticed is with SARS, they didn't build a 1,000-bed hospital in 6 days.
You're right, and a
No,
lot
they
of
didn't.
people regret that they didn't. It's called learning from your mistakes of the past. I would think, learning from and MERS was the real deadly one, by the way, not SARS.
MRSA.
or MERS, whatever it was called.
Yeah, MRSA.
Davros says the
That
coronavirus
was started by
is-
dirty hospital shit.
Yeah, Corona said, or Corona. Davros says the coronavirus is in Australia as well.
Oh yeah. I mean the horses are out. It's too late to close the barn doors.
And it's kind of odd though how every country is getting their hits of it when most of the time from the very. I mean, this came out. This story started what, early December. Started talking about coronavirus.
This brings me back to my theory of viruses actually rule the planet.
They do bacteria.
Well, we're just a much more interconnected society nowadays.
There
and
were
this
nothing but
particular-
trees to
this
viruses.
particular- This particular virus has a really long incubation period, which is, helpful as far as getting it around.
Wait.
And then you can be asymptomatic and still spread it. So yeah, it's a tough one.
So confused.
It's like as if it studied all the weaknesses of other viruses and then said, I'm going to do this instead.
And then involved.
Sure, viruses probably have consciousness, maybe. What if they did? They're living organisms.
Ibn Stone says the coronavirus is about to change the name. The corona is just a family of virus it came from.
Yeah.
Because it's mutating.
Well, it's the seventh.
No, it's because it's standing out.
It's like a species. It's like the seventh species of virus in that coronavirus family that they found. In fact, 20% of the common colds that people catch today are coronavirus.
Really?
That's probably a good thing.
Wait, so people get corona all the time. But it's
coronavirus. Okay, so think of the coronavirus name as like a clade of species, and so under that
it's a coronavirus.
You've got
there's sub names for those viruses.
Yeah, they're all species of coronavirus. Yeah,
and like how orangutans and chimpanzees are all apes.
Yeah, this is a corona.
Yes.
The thing is that we could have an outbreak of a disease that we always have, and it could be bad because the thing is that it's not necessarily the disease. It's too many people getting it at once, and hospitals getting overwhelmed. Everybody having it, like, if everybody's sick, who's going to take care of the sick?
Sick.
Medical robots.
What if everybody at the hospital gets sick?
Hey,
that's why we have Skynet.
We don't. Skynet's only in the movies. Skynet will kill us
So
all.
you say.
Skyfly's theory is coming to.
That my virus knowledge is accurate enough that Dr. Bob has not corrected me.
But But isn't
No,
the
really.
protocol? But isn't the protocol to stop an outbreak like the second something seemed like they just shut everything down, no in or outs? That's how it's supposed to be.
I don't know about that.
Depends on the virus. Depends on the severity of the virus. They can isolate. Yeah.
That's the crazy part. Isolating you. If you're being isolated by anything, you might as well go. Okay, something's wrong.
Yeah. If the National Guard shows up in Biohazard, pretty well fucked.
Go shit.
I've read The Stand. I know how that turns out.
Like,
No
are
thanks.
we going to the moon?
You read
No,
it?
Quarantine.
Boy, you don't like yourself very much if you read that book.
Why?
Can't stand that book. I'm sorry. I can't stand the movie either.
Oh yeah, I remember that miniseries from back in was it the 90s?
Yeah, whatever miniseries movie.
No, yeah, no, it was pretty good actually. It had oh gosh, Lieutenant Dan in it. What's his name?
Forrest Gump.
No, the other guy.
Gary
I don't know.
Sinise.
Gary
Yeah.
Sinise. Yeah, that was it. That I really I enjoyed that movie.
It's so cheesy.
Yes, but macaroni and cheese is also cheesy and also enjoyable. So
Wow.
Yeah, but you got to admit, virus diseases have come a long way from that thing, huh? You think about like 28 days later or something like that, right?
Well, I do know like the Ebola.
Is that a
not the
virus
Ebola,
movie or a zombie
uh,
movie?
yeah, it was a virus.
It's
Well,
a virus.
I mean,
It's a virus.
they
It's a
weren't-
zombie movie.
Yeah,
That instead of having fake zombies, it was more of a realistic outbreak making you a zombie.
it came from mutated rage monkeys, as I recall.
Like
I will
rabies or
point
some
out
shit?
that Planet of the Apes flu killed off my population.
Planet of the
Breaking
Apes?
up a lot, Bob.
Yep.
The
Yeah, Planet of
first,
the Apes.
the original Planet of the Apes is like some kind of fucked up acid trip, dude. I can't even watch that.
Yeah, but the real question
And
is,
especially when they're walking
that-
through the desert and he starts laughing at the flag. I'm like, all right, that's enough of this.
the question is Planet of the Apes a futuristic depiction or past?
Yeah.
It's
I'm
really
in
a
my
visual cycle.
unhealthy day. No, the simian flu and Planet of the Apes kind of demonstrated at the movie how you could spread this virus just through air travel, almost throughout the world, almost immediately, just like with coronavirus. Except we've got it under better control, it looks like.
Oh yeah,
The
12
first thing they
monkeys.
did was shut down airports.
But so is the coronavirus kind of like the swine flu?
I don't know if it's kind of like swine flu. It's
Well, in a sense of it's a mutated virus that we get that is mutated and becomes stronger.
well, that's why we're seeing an outbreak. Something different about it. And the thing that a lot of people don't think about with virus things like that is, the Spanish influenza in 1990. The virus itself wasn't really what killed you. It was your immune response virus that killed you, and that's why it hit young, healthy people and was devastating. Because they have the strongest immune system, so therefore they nuke themselves, basically.
Oh wow.
They didn't have nuclear weapons back then, Bob.
Yeah, they did. They had 300 years ago.
Yes, they did. They just had. Yes, they did. You haven't been following Tartaria.
Right, that's
But,
because
no.
of the mud floods, Q.
Yeah, they were-
Did you miss
Yeah,
this?
come on, Q. It's the mud.
I thought it was the backing up of all the toilets at once.
Well, you know what? Q? They were giants. So giant poop. Yeah, I can see that backing up.
Yeah, why don't we see giant toilets if they were giants?
Because toilets are a really bad invention, and giants are smarter than to invent toilets. Let me ask you a question.
No, I don't want to talk about that.
What kind of what kind of person are you if you spend tons and tons of resources to gather and clean water and then just take a shit in it?
Smart.
Sorry.
I think that's
This covered.
genius.
Places in the world where there is no clean water. Is my
I know.
point.
I'm glad I don't live there.
Yeah, we diving for toilets and shit.
People in China, they don't even have the right to use water practically, and their toilets are
What?
in their showers.
I wouldn't say. Oh wait, that's actually more practical, kind of.
What? You don't poop in the shower? I mean, come
Wait,
on.
what?
How am I going to
No,
work on the
that's not-
internet and do
No.
my videos if I have to use the shower?
Wait, what?
Oh, you do yours
Well,
from the
you never
toilet too?
you never know where I make videos. If it was the shower, that just wouldn't work out with my laptop.
You
I
don't
get
live
it.
in China.
That's wrong.
Acoustics, Bob. I mean, you gotta consider the acoustics here.
You adjust the
Yeah,
levels.
they're awesome. It's corner loading. It's really.
Are you using the car wash to shower, Bob?
Well, I did once spray the kids off with a pressure washer. My wife got mad at me though.
You could spray their skin off.
Well, it's a
Adjust it.
matter of, it's the radius squared. Got
It's
to
R
do that.
value.
He's a doctor. Don't question his methods, okay?
I don't think he knows the
Don't
resistance
hate
of a
me.
child's skin to the pressure of water.
Actually,
Yeah.
I've tested.
I know you've tested it, but I think you just got lucky there, Bob.
Yeah, well,
Hey, that's
my
how
favorite
test goes
saying is don't
sometimes.
confuse lucky with right.
I'd rather be lucky than good.
I did the Black Swan today. I'm thinking about doing the Titanic tonight for videos. Since they may be related.
The Black Squad.
Yeah, that thing with all the buzz for community right now, the Black Swan freaking oil rig.
Oh, Black Swan. I thought you
It's
said Black
Photoshop.
Squad.
No, Black Swan. I debunked that a long time ago to the point that it's actually in my theme song. Part of the montage theme song is me debunking that a year ago. I don't know why they suddenly discovered it now.
Because it's in the news. The term black swan is being used in the news recently.
That's
It's
good. I had
it's
no
an
idea what the
actual-
hell they were talking about.
It's
It's
like a tag word.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a tag
it's
word.
an actual loop of conversation going back into full swing now.
Awesome.
They don't even understand what the black swan is. They just gave it a whole new meaning. Like they rewrote the Black Swan book.
Well, I actually looked
had
at the thing.
I had a guy try to argue with me the other day about it, and all he kept saying was modus tollens. And I was like, okay, now make the modus tollens argument. And he just said modus tollens, like he knew what the fuck he was talking about, right? Like he just kept repeating modus tollens. It was like a mantra. Like
Well,
Satan
Nathan
behind
said
me or something.
modus tollens. Nathan said modus tollens the other day in QE. So now they're all repeating
Oh yeah.
because they don't have any idea what they're talking about anymore than Nathan and QE. But since they said it, now they all have to.
Whoever smelt it, dealt it.
Anyways, that black
modus
swan
tollens?
photo is photoshopped.
No, I don't think it is.
Is
To God. Well, I mean, colors, but that's what they're showing. But they don't know what they're looking at, so that makes it even more amusing and sad in a way.
Have either of them explained why those cranes are curved like a boomerang in that photo?
Ether band.
Well, the thing that I said was for people that can.
homogeneous.
The thing that I said was that for people that can suss out every minute property of a fisheye lens, they can't seem to see the obvious.
You really think they're trying, Bob?
No, I think they're trying to make a living.
Maybe you're missing the obvious, Bob.
And what would that be?
That they don't give a fuck. So they.
I've already said that. I said they're the pet rock of YouTube. They just don't realize it's a joke.
It's not that they don't realize, it's that they hate you.
Join the club.
Oh no, they really do.
I don't hate you.
I lurk on that.
Well, that's because you haven't joined the club yet. You're
I
not
don't
my
join.
ex-wife.
I don't join
But
clubs.
yeah. But no, I
Willing to
mean,
have
whether
a
they
club
hate
that
me
would
or
have
not,
me
I
as a
really don't
member.
care. I gave up caring what they thought a long time ago when I found out they lied, which was about flat Earth.
Flat Earth is an alt-right movement in disguise.
Is it?
Yeah, I agree. It's a movement.
Yeah, that's practically what everything is on the internet. That's what Russian Vids is.
Like a bowel
Yeah.
movement?
Well,
Alt-right.
what it is you get people with very strange ideas that find each other on YouTube and have like they, people like Sleeping Warrior suddenly have some importance they don't have in their life otherwise.
It's interesting
So,
watching Antifa, right? Because they think that they're not the Nazis, but they act like Nazis to Nazis.
That's ironic.
would that be a Nazi squared, or that
It's maybe
cancel each
cubed.
other
It might
out?
be cubed. Yeah, they
Yeah.
do. When they meet in the streets, it's like a death match of like 200 people. So eventually, yeah, maybe they will
We should sell tickets.
I find it odd that Antifa has never tried to recruit me.
recruit you.
Yeah, I mean,
They
I'm the
recruit?
perfect candidate.
Have you made about 15 videos where you like are real misogynistic and say the N-word a lot?
No.
Or secretly say the N-word.
Yeah, you got to bait
No.
the hook if you want to catch a fish.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I ran a bunch of like political Facebook groups back in the day. I used to be super duper political, and I also ran some Facebook groups that dealt with young Earth creationists and fundies and people like that. I didn't really jump into the flat Earth thing until about a year ago. But back, they're the same people. These flat earthers are basically the same people that I was arguing with that are alt-righters or young Earth creationists or biblical literalists or fundies or whatever you want to call them. And that's not Antifa. Antifa is the antithesis of that, and I am the antithesis of that. So I just find it odd that nobody from Antifa ever tried to recruit me.
You
You
mad
got
they
to make
didn't come
these
to your
videos.
house?
No, online. Like, I never had anybody in any of those interactions on Facebook, and these were open groups. Like,
That's
anybody
not
could
true,
join.
Astro Rex.
So I never got
Sorry.
recruited by Soros. I never got recruited by Antifa. I don't think any of these like leftist groups that people talk about are as endemic as the right wing groups are. Now I know that's maybe a bad equivocation there, but I
We'll
really
give
do
it
think that.
time. I mean, Antifa's
Well,
only the response to the right. It's
okay.
been here half the time.
Is it not is it not valid to say that that's how the pendulum swings?
No, I don't think this is about any balance or pendulum swing. I think this is just a bunch of nutcases.
Well, societally, our society, our culture swings like a pendulum, right to left. It's like a pattern. You can watch it happen, and it's just happening faster.
Call 'em bunk. Somebody's
I think
pushing
it's
that pendulum.
Well, I just think it's momentum. I think it's just societal momentum or
What?
cultural momentum.
What is the actual motivation between the two sides? All that shit.
Okay,
'Cause
well,
I
what
want,
is just
because
white nationalists? They just want
yeah, I don't
to
get
have
any of
their
that
own
crap.
world full of white men and everyone else be subservient to them, and that's nothing new. All right?
Well,
Which is what I'm always talking about when I talk about white boys. But here's the thing, Antifa doesn't like that there are people, these men want to do that. They're like, oh no, you can't deport all the immigrants. You can't hate on black people. You can't, So they made a group to, protest their group that protests. So now when, white nationalists show up to have a conference or protest something, Antifa comes right behind them and protests them. And they get into fights, and that's what happened at Charlottesville when that girl got run over.
Yeah, and okay, now I'm getting it. And
That's when Antifa and the alt-right got together in the streets and practically killed everyone.
But they're saying like Antifa was supposed to be like the solution, like the.
It's not a solution. It's not a solution. It's
No. I meant as in the others. I meant
resistance.
as in the others.
It's the resistance.
Yeah. Better resistance. Yeah, but then
The
it turned out
resistance.
like they were starting most of the violence and shit.
I don't know. You can't really trust anything because both sides will go on in mass Twitter trolls and everybody. They'll tell rumors for both sides and make each side look. You can't trust any of it anymore. It's all just. It's like a civil war is going on in this country and you don't even know it yet. That's what I'm just saying because I've been like researching it.
Yeah, I don't. See, what are they fucking? I don't get. There's no govern. Are there any any politicians that are even backing any of these groups?
Oh yeah,
Did you watch the
Trump.
Did you watch the vote, the hearing?
Yeah,
he got acquitted. I knew that was going to happen. The Democrats wasted 4 years of their lives on nothing.
Well, they didn't.
Could have actually done something good for the world.
Because a lot of America looks at it as a black eye on Trump. And they did that on purpose because of the election.
Of course.
How can it be a black eye if he got acquitted?
They did it because he admitted to a
Did
crime.
you see how he did it? Did you see how he did it?
Did what?
You had two parties that completely ignored evidence. The only person that walked out of that thing any sense of decency, Mitt Romney.
Okay, well, this is all predictable, and you're just getting your head against the wall. When you already knew that was going to be what happened.
Of course you knew it was going to happen, but it pointed it out for all to see. Mitt Romney at least had some...
The Democrats called the Republicans bluff, and the Republicans doubled down, because they knew that they had the votes. That's all.
Anytime you see a vote as a block by party, they're not. They're interested in their own power.
Apparently,
and that is disgusting.
That Greta Thunberg, whatever her name is,
Thunberg.
Yeah, whatever.
Thunberg.
Apparently, Davros just sent me a link saying that there's a picture of her in an anti-fascist.
She needs to go back to school. She's she needs to finish high school.
She's a spokesman now.
That kid.
She's inspired millions.
She's a freaking kid.
She's a spokesman now.
Yeah, she's inspired millions of kids to believe that the world is going to end before they turn 23 years old. Yay, greatest doomsday cult ever created.
Let's get
called
one thing
global
straight.
warming.
13.
Let's get one thing straight, Q. She's not. She still goes to school.
It's just like Jim Jones propaganda. That's all this shit is, dude. They're going to these young kids and they're scaring the shit out of them about global warming in order to get people to vote for who they want to vote for.
No, Q. You're right and you're wrong. They're using the kids
to put out that
information. Look, they're using the kids for that information, but it is true. It is happening. They're just using the situation. They're using the kids to promote their side.
Not right to have a bunch of kids stand in front of Congress wearing T-shirts with the number of the age that they'll be when the world ends.
Okay. Why? If we were to fix anything.
It's an extreme. I mean, what do they take that message to do? So if people don't stop using plastic bags, what are they going to do? What do they commit suicide? Do they kill somebody? Do they blow something up? What is the answer if they're going to die? What do you do if you're going to die?
I'm not sure if you realize it or not. You change shit.
When is it okay to use lethal force?
What are you talking about?
If you're going to die. This is what I'm saying.
What does that lethal force have to do with
you shouldn't be telling a bunch of kids that they're going to die.
Why?
You're not saying you're going to die. You're going to say there are consequences.
No, with a number.
There are consequences to what has been done. And
the world's going to end when I'm 23. The world's going to end when I'm 21.
See, that makes no sense.
It's sickening.
Now you're propaganda, the anti-propaganda.
I'm just trying to protect their kids from sick abuse by people who want votes.
That's exactly what they're doing.
That's what I think.
No.
Those kids need to go back to high school.
They're standing up
for education and not being manipulated by politicians.
Here's the thing. It's not like taxes. It's not like taxes today. This is literally a topic that can't be fixed today. It's going to happen tomorrow. And guess who's going to be responsible for it? Them. They have every right to stand up and say, "Fuck you guys."
Hey, how many?
They do have a right to do that, Sean. I'm not saying they don't have a right to say, "Hey, I want the world to change. I want the world to last. I don't want the world to be sick." No, they're not. They're going up and saying the world's going to end. This is how old I get to live to be.
Okay, yeah.
Because you guys killed everything.
How many 16-year-olds?
Listen to me. Sean, let me
how many
like
16
you.
years over
How
years?
many of these? No, wait. How many of these people who've gone into places and committed these mass shootings have written in their manifestos things about how the boomers have destroyed the planet, how global warming is going to kill them? They have no future to live for anyways. Do you know how many of them have done that, who have mentioned this global warming thing in their manifestos?
How many, Q?
Four.
So because they decided to say something, it's now enough? Because they decided to say something about it.
No, it's a radicalizing idea to tell people that something is going to kill them.
There's shooting a week in this country every week for the past 9
I know of.
years.
There's 4 that I know of, and that's So what are you appealing to popularity? Popular? How many does there need to be? How many does there need to be before you realize that indoctrinating kids into a suicide cult over global warming or over God is wrong?
More than 4.
Because you get these spectrum of responses that can go to any extreme. An extreme of going to a Walmart and killing people for using plastic bags. And that's my point.
Q, how many of those wrote in their little manifestos that they were trying to start a race war? All
more
of them.
And here's my point. These are people that are batshit crazy. Really don't think they
but
need
they're having a response. They're having a
crazy.
response to the information they're being given. And if the information they're being given is such that, hey, here's your number when you're going to die, then how do you expect them to respond? Batshit crazy or not?
So you're saying that if we hadn't told them that global warming
I'm saying your message
they
sucks.
wouldn't have done
Stop
it.
abusing kids. That's what I'm saying.
So if we hadn't told them that global warming was going to occur,
we tell them that global warming is going to occur, but at the same time, we ought to change the way we're living and set the example, like as if we care about it, and we shouldn't be making them show up with the day of their death written on their fucking chest. I don't understand what the problem is with comprehending that.
That because us, the adults,
it's sick. It's like what they did to people in the concentration camp. Let me print a number on you, and you go show up.
They did that. First of all, it's because of us.
It's not the right way to do it. If you want to do something about global warming, if you want to do something about global warming, don't print the death date on people's chests. Go and clean the pollution.
Because
stop using plastic bags.
Because adults like us haven't done shit.
Stop being retarded.
Yeah, so what you're not realizing is the kids did that because of the response of us not doing it.
Terrible doomsday cult message. It's sickening. You're abusing kids. Stop it.
Okay.
They did that themselves.
Yeah. That's in response to us not doing something first thing.
That just blows my mind how you've misread this whole thing. For one thing, you've got to do shocking things sometimes to shock people, to wake them up, to wake them up to reality. And I mean, when you're a kid and you don't have any power to vote, all you can do is act out in such a way to get attention. And so that's what those kids were doing. They were trying to call attention to a problem. Their problem. It's going to be their problem.
They didn't have to use dead kids.
They didn't have to use that. Well, then we should have got off our asses and done something, because that's in response to us not doing anything.
Into not going into war. I mean, that's not true. People do use shocking imagery to try to get people to stop a certain type of behavior.
We don't make Astrorex. We don't let kids make a lot of decisions. We don't let them drink. We don't let them smoke. We don't let them vote. Okay, because their minds aren't developed and they don't know the difference between right and wrong fully, and they don't understand the consequences to their actions fully. So we reserve the right to make certain decisions for children and guide them. And I'm telling you right now, the choices that we're making for these children, they're not understanding. You've got them enrolled in a doomsday cult over global warming, and I think it's disgusting. That's my opinion, and I have an entitlement to that.
You do.
and I am entitled to argue with you about your opinion, because in my opinion, the doomsday cult are the fundamentalist Christians running this country who have their head buried in the sand about climate change, who want to ignore it completely, because in reality, they're drinking the Kool-Aid and they don't care about the future because they all want to die and go to heaven.
Yeah, I agree. The adults in the world are doing the same thing they're always doing it. Just like when they get a divorce, instead of dealing with the issues and correcting the problems, they put the kids in the middle and they fight over who cares more about the kids. Stupid. Grow up.
I mean, that is not at all what's happening. It's the kids.
It is.
No,
It's the
the
same thing
adults
as
are,
the
no,
pattern
the
just
adults are,
repeat.
no.
They
The
just because
house
they
is
exist,
burning down.
they exist in the world.
Dad
It's the
says
same pattern being
mom says it is.
over and
The
over
kid
again.
holds up a sign that
Everyone's the
says, I'm
same.
going to die of carbon
Sick.
monoxide poisoning in 5 minutes if we don't leave the house.
Not the same thing.
Yes, it is the same thing. That's the analogy.
One, we can't leave the house. We can't leave the house. Where are we going to leave? Are these kids wearing a shirt saying, hey, if we don't get on this spaceship and leave, we're going to die?
That's what Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos are saying.
So it's not the same thing, is it?
I would advocate.
Where's the spaceship that's going to hold 7.2 billion people?
I would advocate putting the fire out.
I'm not blaming them, dude. I read it in the
As would I.
manifestos of these freaking mass murderers. They're the ones blaming the boomers.
Yeah. So
Do you think that is why they did it?
They do it because they have this feeling of hopelessness, and I don't think telling them, having them write the day they're going to die on their chest is going to get rid of that feeling.
Did they write
positively that we would actually make change?
Yeah,
their death date on their chest, and they're going to show up at Congress, and they're going to talk to you, and nothing's going to change, and then I guess they'll just die. I guess.
Were any of these shooters these kids that you're talking about that had their death dates written on their chest?
Was that?
I said, were any of these shooters these kids that went to Congress with numbers written on their chest?
I don't think any of the kids that went to Congress with numbers on their chests were the shooters. These are different people, and some of the shooters aren't kids; they're grown people.
In one instance, you've got a group of kids trying to affect change, and then you've got another group of grown-ups or crazy people who will literally.
They're both trying to affect change. These mass murderers are murdering people to try to affect change. They want immigration to stop, or they want immigration to continue.
Do you feel that there's an equivalence between the two?
Between murder and murder? Sure.
No,
people because of global warming
on their chest,
people murdering people because of immigration.
There
are people murdering people because people are murdering people because of immigration. It's a war. You're missing the war that's going on in your country.
The question that Bob is asking, he's asking you, is it the same thing?
Sorry.
Well, go ahead, Bob. Ask the question again.
I don't think I'm going to. I think it's getting too heated.
Sorry. I'm not really angry or anything. I just get excited. So please don't. I'm not offended or angry at anyone. I'm enjoying the conversation. I just get really excited. I'm trying to keep my
question
volume.
My question to you is, do you think it is equivalency between kids, state or Congress, numbers on the chest, and people doing mass shooting? Do you think that those are equivalent groups?
I think they're two extremes to the same. They're responding to the same instance, and they're two extremes on a spectrum of possible responses. So one is suicidal, and one is homicidal. And that's all I see, because the message they're getting is disgusting, and no adults are taking any responsibility to actually formulate change. They're just fighting over who cares about the kids more. But the kids that are shooting people, because then they're going, oh, well, we shouldn't have them guns. We should pay attention to what they're posting. We should talk to them more. We should give them more drugs. We should.
Well, Q, thank you.
I
think I'm going to bow out of this.
Well, I hate that you're going.
I guess in that way they're equivalent, because they're just opposite sides of the same spectrum, and they're both very extreme responses.
I don't think that a political statement by a child writing a number on his chest, on his T-shirt, it's not on his chest, it's on his T-shirt or her T-shirt that says, I'm 9 and I'll, predicted to be dead by 23 due to climate change. And it's not a doomsday cult. It's not a. It's they're not committing suicide. It's not like they're saying I'm going to commit suicide at 23. They're trying to tell Congress that if they don't
You don't know
act,
that.
hold
It's
on,
raising awareness.
they're
You
trying
don't know.
to
You don't know what they're
raise
feeling
awareness
inside. How do you know that they're not thinking that if I can't get this
because
message across, that's what I
I've
have
read
to do?
interviews by these children, and yeah, some of them are really articulate, some of them are really smart, some of them I think are parroting things that their parents say. Yes, I agree with that. Some are I think there are kids out there who are very self-aware, very
They're
aware
incredibly
of.
impressionable. Okay.
I disagree with that. When I was a kid, I was not very impressionable. Some people are not like that. Some people are a little bit more aware than others at younger ages. You've got to understand that. So yeah, these kids are not
I think that it
representative of kids writ
helps
large,
to solve global
but they're
warming problems to tell people that kids are going to die.
well, I think that if you're the average
Literally,
American who's just kind of an on autopilot consumer mode, and you see something in the news where a 9-year-old kid who looks something like your kid is talking to Congress, and he's got a number written on his t-shirt, and you look into it and you start reading up on this stuff and you go, wow, I need to leave a better world for my 9-year-old. I think that's
been
the
doing it
point. But that's
before
not the
these kids were
same
doing it.
thing as
I didn't even
shooting a
need to be
bunch of
told
people.
that much. I don't use plastic bags, and I limit how much plastic I let my life. I don't have a car. There's all kinds of things I do because I'm eco conscious
Great.
already for
So
years.
why
For
are you
years.
railing
To
That's why
a
I don't
to
against
eat
a
this?
McDonald's.
to yeah, but that's to a certain comfortable point.
I.
But that's what. But that's the issue that I think they're using the kids to
Not really that
show.
comfortable. I gotta, carry groceries home, because I don't have a car. So that's not very comfortable. But,
Do you
I
have a
got nice
garden?
abs.
But you're comfortable with the choice you made
Garden too.
to do it.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with it because I know that I am trying to live as balanced with, the actual reality that I live in and not just
But okay,
making everything really super
but
Is
comfortable
then
for
that not its
myself.
own reward in
Everything
itself?
in the world is made for me to manipulate into my own comfort. It's
okay,
ridiculous way
but
to
you
be.
don't wait. So Q, you don't believe that you could
I
live
don't believe that
a
convenience and
carbon-free
comfort
life?
are the best things in life.
Huh? Say it one more time.
I don't believe that convenience and comfort are the best things in life.
But it is. You go to the grocery store, right?
Technically, the worst things in life because especially if you're aware of all the things that are sacrificed to one species, achievement of comfort and
What
convenience.
what what definition of comfort was I using when I said that you were comfortable with that choice?
Oh, I,
Do
I
you
was
think
I
that
was
I
talking
had?
more about
Do you
what
think I
Sean was
was
saying when
referring
he's
to your feet, or were you comfortable with that level of sacrifice to make a better life?
well, actually I'd like
There's
to
a
do more.
difference in terms there. There's a difference in terms
Yeah, but I
there.
was made it more about the other one, so I addressed it for Sean. But when with you, I would say that there's still more I'd like to do.
There's more that I would like to do too, and I spend every day trying to do something better. I spend every day trying to be the man my dog is, and I'm comfortable with that. Gives me fulfillment. You walk, don't use plastic bag. You're comfortable with that. It gives you fulfillment. That's great. I mean, we all have that point that we are willing to go to that gives us our sweet spot.
See, right there, I want to stop you, and I don't mean to interrupt, but I want to say, yeah, I don't doubt. I don't the pursuit of it isn't necessarily something they necessarily want to continue, but feel that they are expected to continue, because that happens a lot with children. They get caught up in things. And if they start to feel differently, they don't feel like they can speak up because they feel they'll disappoint others.
I can get behind that. I mean, it wouldn't. I wouldn't doubt that. Like I said, some of these kids are parroting things that their parents say or whatnot. But I would, based on the interviews that I've listened to and read of some of these kids, I wish I could think of some of their names right now, but they seem really, like I said, really articulate, really smart, really self-aware. The lights are definitely on up top. They don't look like they're reciting a mantra with no thought behind it or anything. I think they really are concerned about their future. And if you're 10 years old and you can't vote for another 8 years, what are you going to do?
Now that worries me too. So here's the thing, okay? I am very concerned for their future as well, which is why I am trying to make changes. And I also talk to people, and I, sometimes I even give people shit because they don't do enough, so because I care about their future. I really do, okay? But you said something else that made me want to say something, and I forgot what it was. Could you say kind of part of what you said again?
Oh,
The last little part?
damn it, brain. I'm turning into Pete Shea over here with my goldfish memory. Gosh, was anybody else listening? What did I say?
We're all listening. You were talking about these children trying to make a pact when they can't.
Oh, yeah. If you can't vote, if you're 10 years old,
Oh,
and
that's
you
the
can't vote
part.
for
That's
another
the part
8
that
years.
worries me. Okay, that's the part that worries me because I've seen it. It's a trend. It's always been this way. You got these people, and I've always said that communism and advertising, that's the same thing. Advertising was born from communism. That's how they got everybody to agree to communism, was through advertising. Okay, and people like to advertise at kids like vampires. Okay, so if you start telling me that global warming, and then what are we going to give kids? The ability to vote, and then we're going to have a whole bunch of people manipulating kids for votes.
Q, why did we
worries me
get
too.
communism again?
What?
Oh, no, we didn't get communism. We got advertising from communism.
We got advertising from communism.
The first ever billboards ever invented in the world were to influence people into voting communism.
No, the first billboards that I recall of were advertising for prostitutes in Pompeii. But that's neither here nor there.
That's just your memory. We're talking way before that, dude. We're talking like way back, like in Stalin's
When
days.
was communism developed?
Pompeii is 2,000 years before.
We're talking about Stalin, dude.
Yeah,
and there were all these flyers, billboards, and posters that were made to try to convince people that communism was comfortable and good and healthy. And that developed the whole idea of advertising. And advertising stems from that whole campaign from communism. There's documentaries.
You ever read a pamphlet called Communism by Thomas?
I read it on my YouTube channel once.
There you go. You think that wasn't advertising?
Everything is communism. Advertising is communism.
That wasn't communism. They were most definitely communism.
I said, in my mind, advertising and communism, they're the same thing. You can't have communism without advertising, and advertising creates communism. You create, a product, and you advertise it to people. They become, your buyers, your viewers, your whatever, your consumers, and you can tell them anything you want about that product. They become loyal to that product. They'll vote on that
product.
What
does that have to do with communism?
Yeah, that's
talking about the way people are influenced. I'm talking about the way people are influenced, and I'm talking about people influencing.
That has nothing to do with communism.
Into a doomsday cult about global warming. And then he's bringing up the idea that 10-year-olds can't vote, and I'm saying, oh, well, now we're getting into danger because now we have a bunch of kids who could be given the right to vote because of global warming and a doomsday cult, and then a whole bunch of politicians could influence them like McDonald's into eating fat.
Okay, hold on, slow down.
I'm not accusing you of saying that. I'm not accusing you of saying that. I'm just telling you, when you say that, that's what I start thinking.
You're saying that because of this, we might give children the right to vote. And that's not at all what I was implying in my question.
No, I'm not accusing you of saying that at all. I'm just saying it worries.
It's also ludicrous.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
I mean, okay, so when these kids turn 18, they will, assuming they live that long, So
And
let's
don't fry
fast
Well,
first.
unless they got 18 written on their chest, I guess.
Right. So based on the things that, these climate scientists are saying about, if we don't make vast, sweeping institutional changes, put our tax dollars, our actual collective tax dollars towards geoengineering, solving major global climate crisis, we will have something like 12 years before it's too late. Okay. So if I'm 10 years old and I can't vote for another 8 years, so we fast forward 8 years, now I'm 18 and I can vote. Now I've only got 4 years to implement the type of changes that NATO and United Nations and all these climate
Why
scientists
should that be put on a little kid in high school or grade school? When NATO,
because it's gonna be
the
their, just like
companies,
Sean said
Who
earlier,
put it
it's
on
going
them?
to be their problem.
Who put it
worry
on them?
about it. They're worried about it a
It's
great deal.
already
They think
on
like
them.
they've got to
If they
go around
don't
and tell
worry
everybody about
it
it,
will be
putting
too
a lot of
late.
pressure on them to go around and inform people. I
Because it
think
needs
that
to
they're
start.
worried
It
about it.
needs to. It's because it needs to start at a certain point, and it needs to start now. Is what the outrage is. It needs to start now, and we're the ones who need to start it now because the kids are the ones that are affected later. That's the
But who
whole
is
thing
making
about it.
do this, you? Who is imposing this?
The people
You.
that aren't making any changes, and the people that are, the people that
So
are
you're saying that somebody is imposing
and the
this
people
on.
who aren't doing anything when they're getting this information. They're basically putting it on the kids to do something about it, and the kids feel like it's on them, and that's why they're having this response. Okay, and it's the same thing when when one of these kids goes in and kills people, they think that that's the right response because they're kids and they're impressionable and they don't know, and we have to really be careful not to abuse them into having really bad ideas about murder or suicide or death.
Well, I don't think any
That
of the
we could
kids.
just change and be adults for once, so it'd be nice.
I don't think any of the kids who were going before
Literal kids
Congress
dying right now because they
endorsing
don't have enough
suicide.
food and stuff, or they live in a bad place, and they're literally dying, and we're not talking about them, but we're talking about metaphorically these other kids that are going to die because of we
Well,
need
let's talk
roads.
about something real. Let's talk about the fact Samoa ran out of size coffin due to the measles epidemic.
Jesus.
So what are we doing? What are we doing to promote MMR? What are we doing to promote universal vaccine? You want to make a difference? There you go.
I don't see what that has to do with anything.
Well, that was
That's a
I believe
change
that
that you can
everybody
make right this minute that will save lives.
in America that isn't aware of measles or that vaccine or how they can get that vaccine.
Well, I mean, your voice reaches further than America. Bob just said universal. So
I had a guy that worked for the public health department come in my
Are you
office today,
suggesting
and
that
we talked about this. And you know what? He's running to a problem. They have to go to get waived to go to school. Well, my kid can't go to school tomorrow because he's not vaccinated. Well, fine, vaccinate. Well, I don't want to vaccinate him. MMR causes autism. No, it really doesn't. Well, what about the aluminum in the MMR? There's no aluminum in the MMR. It's water. All right, they took that out years ago in the manufacturing
Where do
process.
you think people get these ideas from, though?
They
It's
get
not
it
their
from
fault that they
bullshit
think it.
YouTube videos by people who don't know their ass from a hole in the ground that sit down and tell people to put potatoes in their sock when a
That's
4-year-old
interesting.
has 105-degree temperature. See, that's why, because they take their advice from Facebook.
Yeah, but
Now, that's what we can do to make a difference. We need to counter
That's
this
a good
shit.
point. That's a good point.
it's a very valid point. But I think that the people that are taking this advice, as you said, are different than the people who are giving the advice.
How so?
Hey, Q.
Well, I think you're right to remark on their naivety and possibly even their stubbornness and poor choice making. But the people that are distributing the information are not naive, and they're doing this on purpose.
Is Andrew Wakefield anti-vax?
What?
Is Dr. Andrew Wakefield anti-vaccine? The guy that
Andrew?
started all this MMR autism.
I don't know.
Do you
who
know
that
why he
is.
started it? Do you know why the guy that published the paper in Lancet published this paper and did this study?
No,
Because
no,
he
because
wanted to have the MMR taken off and replaced with a univalent measles vaccine, which he said would be safer.
It's a commerce thing.
And you know who patented a univalent measles vaccination just before he started the study? Andrew fucking Wakefield.
Right. So that just reinforces the point that I'm trying to make also, because I feel like a lot of the stuff that they do, with this manipulation is just to manipulate the stock market. Okay. So, I can cash in if I get the whole country to react to something, and then all of a sudden they start buying something or hoarding something.
And now children are dead because good people didn't put numbers on their shirt and
I don't think putting numbers on their shirt would have helped anybody.
I think it would have, Q. I think the point that Bob is making is that the bad guy here is the one spreading the false information to make the actual money off of it. And
we didn't do anything about that.
Guy,
we didn't do anything about it
Andrew Wakefield, and he's the one that started this whole vaccines are bad.
What did we do about Andrew Wakefield and the things that he said?
Well,
what did we do about it? Did we make him stand on a stage with the president of the United States and debate his points and lose so that everybody could see that he was lying or he was stupid? Did we bring up all of his research and put it up as an address of the union because it's a major health crisis? So we need an address of the union. We need to take this motherfucker up on a stage and we need to debate everything he says point by point and prove that he's wrong and inform the country.
We did. And they took his license. He went before the General Medical United Kingdom and they took his license for experimenting on children.
Good.
And doing spinal taps
experimenting on children, and we know that he was experimenting on children, then we ought to give him capital punishment, because what do we need him for anymore?
Well, and as a result, we still have these anti-vax moms getting on YouTube talking about how their child
Andrew Wakefield didn't talk to those moms. Somebody else is taking
he did.
Yes, he did. He did it online.
He did.
Oh, okay.
They are quoting him directly. You don't understand?
People?
They are quoting him directly. He and Suzanne Humphrey. Measles is a harmless disease, which only killed 400 people in the United States in 1960 and hospitalized another 48,000.
Well, I don't deny
this information is out here. As a result, people who won't stand up for this are allowing it to happen.
Well, I would never tell anybody not to get vaccinated.
But would you sit down and counsel them when they said they were thinking about not vaccinating their child? Can you name me a single goddamn politician that goes out there and has the political courage to say there are no medical vaccine waivers anymore?
No, they're not. They don't actually lead.
They do whatever they take a freaking poll and gets them votes.
This is why I don't like seeing kids, using the day they're going to die, or people using that, with these fake ass fucks, dude, because it doesn't make a difference. And I don't think.
Well, if you want to go back to that, that's trying to talk
under that pressure. Measles, I mean, I think that people realize that there's a debate about measles and the vaccine.
No, there is. There is accurate information, and there is missing that kills children.
But you realize that that's a serious dilemma with just society. It's a societal dilemma, Bob. You have information.
Why is it a societal dilemma?
Because you have information. That's what you have. Okay. And then you say that you have misinformation and you have right information. But
you have documented database information.
You say that, right? Okay, but that is only a matter of opinion to an uneducated person. A person would require a lot of education, such as yourself, to actually be able to discern between the information which is righteous and which is garbage. You
Oh,
know,
that's fair.
so
No,
they
no,
may be
that's a
more
good point.
motivated to agree with things that make them feel emotionally satisfied or comfortable, or that speak more in the language that they use, or is something that they were told about by somebody they trust. So information in itself has no bias or value. It is just information, and the value of it comes from the opinion of the consumer. So this is a societal issue, Bob. You can't be hating
Well,
on
you're
people
looking at
because
it
they
wrong.
pick up on stupid ideas, because what are they supposed to do? They
The
have a limited
value,
understanding,
you
they
got
have a
you got
limited
it backwards.
outreach, they have a limited education,
Q,
and they have a
stop,
lot of
stop,
emotions and
stop,
fears being
stop,
projected at them.
stop. Your premise is well, your conclusion is flawed. Okay, you got it backwards. The consumer doesn't give the information the value. An information's value is ultimately in its accuracy. And so it's valuable.
To a person who doesn't
Whether
know if it's accurate or not.
okay, no, that's fair. No, that comes down to scientific literacy. Okay,
And to a lot of
Carl
literacy.
Sagan.
It comes to all around literacy.
Well, okay, that's fair. But Carl Sagan made a statement that what really worried him um, in the future was the scientific illiteracy in this country, and I think a lot of adults are scientifically illiterate. Not when you look up the term, it's basically they don't have critical thinking skills. They don't have the ability to determine factual information from false information. And so I think that's a big problem in this world, really, but really bad in at least in my neck of the woods of the United States. And it's not something that's really promoted in this culture. It's not something that's really valued. It doesn't seem. And
The
so
problem is not everybody has expertise in everything. I am completely illiterate on how to repair my, but I'm also bright enough to figure out there are people out here who do know about truth, and I seek them out and listen to their goddamn advice.
right, and that's having the ability, the critical thinking skills to know who's giving good advice, whose opinion is valid. That's what it comes down to. You
Bob
got to
thinks
have
that
that.
everybody has his same intellect and his same capacity. They just refuse to
No,
use it, or they just
no, he
didn't
I am
use
doesn't.
it.
absolutely not a. I learned that mistake a long, long time ago. You
But did
never
you learn?
I
project your
Did you
listen.
learn
own
to?
opinion.
I
You
listen to
never
Bob a
project your
lot.
own opinion or thought process on somebody else. You can
But you
persuade
did.
them. You can persuade. You can have a certain baseline. But no, you don't project your own intellect and thought process values into other people until they demonstrate that they share your intellect, values, and thought process.
You are, because you call these people who refuse to vaccinate their kids people with potatoes in their socks. So you expect them to be able to figure it out as well as you can.
Okay, no. Obviously, you don't know what I'm talking. I did not say they told people. I did not say that people that believe that you should put your potatoes in kids' socks. This woman who had 105-degree temperature seizures in her 4-year-old went to a Facebook group where they told her put potatoes. All right,
Yeah, but
that's the type of
there's a
crap that I'm
book that's
talking
called
about.
Home Remedies that actually has that as a page, and it's sold.
Yeah, that's
And whose fault is it
quackery
that
and
child
shouldn't
died?
be allowed.
I don't know. I guess you need an minister of information and freedom of speech, counselor, to
Whose
make sure that
fault is
every
that?
word that's uttered in the world is accurate and well informed.
Whose fault is it that child died?
Mother's fault.
You're damn
It's
right it was, because she went to
ultimately the
Facebook
mom.
instead of doing what the doctor told her to do. All right. That child is
But
dead
why did she
because
do
of
that,
his
Bob?
mother.
Why did she do
I
it?
don't know, because she is listening to propaganda that somehow makes her feel as
Try
though
get
a
into her
natural
shoes,
way.
Bob. Try to get into her shoes and figure
No,
out
I can't
why.
get into her shoes. I
Yeah,
can't
see,
get
that's
into
where you're
her
not gonna be
shoes.
helpful.
And I'm not going to get into her shoes because her shoes are full of spiders and potatoes, for that matter. She has a dead child. My children live because I listen to the advice of experts.
Well, that might just be like a probability factor, Bob.
A probability factor. Why don't you go ahead and explain to me what you mean by a probability?
The probability factor that your child lived and her child died.
Really?
Yeah.
How so?
Well, I mean, we can never know how somebody could die.
Okay, no. Tell me, you said that this could have been a probability factor. I want you to explain to me why it's a probability factor. My child, 105 degree temperature, seizures. It's a probability factor that I don't take him to the fucking hospital. And I
Well,
go
I
to
mean,
a
what
Facebook.
if you weren't there with your child and it was somebody else's responsibility and they didn't? What if this lady
Then
was
they
in
would
charge
have
of your
killed
child?
that child. Then they could have potentially killed
What
that
if you
child.
didn't know this lady was a nutcase and she ran a daycare center and you left your child there?
Then, quite frankly, I'd see her for IFA. I would have her license taken and I'd have her criminally prosecuted
Well, that's
for
what I'm saying. It's just a
incompetence
matter of
and
probability,
neglect.
dude.
Child, what it.
I don't know. I'm kind of the opinion, and it's maybe an uninformed opinion, but I'm kind of the opinion that if I met someone who was dumb enough to go to a Facebook group for medical advice instead of a doctor, that they would telegraph that. Like, I would see that coming just through their behavior, just
You
through
might
their
take a lot of
actions.
things for
I'm pretty
granted.
observant. I'm pretty observant, and I think if I met someone like who ran a daycare center and I talked to them long enough to get comfortable with putting my child in their care using critical thinking skills, I would judge them and find them lacking due to whatever signals that they were telegraphing that told me that they are dumb enough to get their medical advice from a Facebook group.
Well, you would hope, but you never know what you might take for
You're
granted
right.
in any given
I would hope.
instance.
I would hope. I'm pretty observant.
You know, they might come
Is
across
it a
as
matter of
very, very
probability that
friendly.
he questioned? Is it a matter of probability that he
Yeah,
questioned the
it is a
person that he
matter of
was leaving his
probability.
child with?
Yeah, it is a matter of probability because what if he didn't have
No,
much
it's
choice?
not a
What if he
matter
didn't
It
have much
is?
time?
It's
Yeah,
not. It's a matter of my judgment. I
no,
have a
it's a matter of
19-year-old daughter.
probability.
You know,
It's
it's
a
not a
matter of
matter of
all kinds
probability.
of things coming together at the right time in order for you to glean the exact information that you needed to glean from the situation to actually make the right choice. And
You're
that's a lot
leaving
of
your
things.
child
So
with somebody with question. Correct.
People leave their children with people that they shouldn't have and are completely surprised
Would
right,
you?
they don't question it, and that's the difference
with anyone,
between.
period. That's what I would do. Not leave my child. I would be with my
That's no
child
way to live your
24/7
life.
until he was adult, except for when he's at public school. And still I would show up there randomly.
Well, I mean, that to me, that's a pretty limiting factor right there. I exercise my critical thinking skills and my judgment based on my knowledge base and my experience to parse reality.
What are you going to say?
to
What are
the
you going to
point.
say? What are you going to say? All the people who say left their kids with Sandusky didn't use critical thinking?
Sandusky?
That somehow they should have known that they were leaving their
the
kids with a prolific child predator.
I you know what? I mean, that's I don't know. I don't know that. I think in institutional systems like that where someone is kind of covered up for.
Talking about these people let these
Well, hold
kids
on.
spend the night at his house.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you. It's like the Catholic Church, right? If you go in just given blanket
Sandusky was
trust,
one man. He lived in a house, and he would have the
Sure.
kids sleep over at his house.
but he was also an important part of that coaching staff. And when some of those coaching staff members knew
Should
about
the
his
parents have been able to
activities
glean
and
that he was a
reported those
predator?
activities, those activities were ignored by those in charge because, you know, they didn't want it, the stain
But
on
these
their
parents
reputation.
went to movies and games and ate dinner, and their kids spent the
You-
night at his house, and they went
You're
on
preaching to the
vacations together.
choir, Q.
They spend so
You're
much
preaching to
time
the
with this
choir.
guy, yet they
Yep.
didn't glean from him that he was raping their kids. How is that?
Okay. I don't know.
Matter of probability.
Hold on. I think that's you're falsely equivocating two things. Okay.
I think my
Like,
level of logic is just makes
hold
everybody
on.
feel really inferior.
No, I'm not. What?
It was a joke. It was a stupid joke.
Okay.
All
So
right.
you're equating someone's like intelligence or critical thinking skills with being a child predator. Okay. I think men or women, whoever, who are child
No,
predators.
I'm just saying none of these parents knew what was going on.
Right.
And you're
no matter
trying
how
to say
critical
that
they
an
think.
outlier. You're trying to say that an outlier
He's not an outlier. He's a common occurrence.
is
There's
a
going to be a lot of them you're going to put out.
representative.
But no, that's not my point at all, Bob. And Q, hold on. My point is that if I meet someone who has such poor critical thinking skills that they trust a Facebook group for medical advice, in my opinion alone, and it's just based on my experience and my knowledge base, I think I would be able to determine that from a conversation with that person, inferring things based on their behavior, based on certain answers to certain questions, based on whether or not there's lights on upstairs. There's just ways for me to gauge someone's intelligence or critical thinking.
You want to get to the information you want to know, but you're going to do it by beating around the bush and gathering inferences.
Sure,
Why don't you
it's called
directly ask them?
conversation. Right. And so in that conversation, I can come away with my estimation of their critical
opinion.
thinking skills, my opinion. And in my opinion, which I have pretty good trust in, because I don't lie to myself and I am pretty rational. So I can think, okay, this person is only charging $50 a week for babysitting my child. And when I meet that person, I leave that conversation and I think to myself, that person is a fucking idiot. If I leave my child with that person, the probability of my child dying is about 80% based on the conversation that I just had with that person. So if I leave my kid with that person, it is on me because I knew that person was an idiot and would probably get their medical advice from Facebook, which means that my daughter's likelihood of dying in their care is higher than the one that charges $500 a week to daycare to babysit my kid.
Okay, let me just throw one more scenario at you.
But when I walk away from that conversation, I have their licenses, I have their accreditation, I have their nurse who's on their hotline. I leave that conversation very comfortable with the prospect of leaving my child in their care. Now, can I ascertain from that simple conversation whether or not they're a child molester? Well, no, probably not. But can I gauge their intelligence and their credibility and reliability? Sure. And so that's my point. And don't equate the two because the two are very different.
Okay. It makes me want to say two things. First of all, what you're saying about this predatory guy, sure, that's fair enough. I agree with you guys, right? He's actively working to deceive people. It's different than just being a nincompoop, okay? But here's another scenario. Okay, let's say you meet somebody who runs the daycare and they have enough critical thinking to know what to say to you and the impression to give to you, but they're not the one who's going to be with your kid. And they don't have enough critical thinking to know whether or not the person that's going to be with your kid is doing potatoes. And that doesn't come up in the conversation because you're not asking direct questions. You're inferring things. And here's another thing.
I mean, there are direct questions that I would ask, because
comes to this. Would you or would you not, if you were going to leave your child with someone that you did not know, would you directly ask them, are you a child molester?
Well, I mean, no.
You wouldn't feel you had the right to do that?
Sure. I mean, of course you have the right to do that. But I mean, that's okay. So if they are Are they going to tell you?
Probably, because if you directly ask a child molester that question, it's probably going to floor him.
You think?
And I think they would give away a lot of signs. They wouldn't be able to lie. They'd touch their face. They'd wiggle. They'd give indirect answers. They wouldn't be able to look at you. Yeah. And I think somebody who wasn't would be very concerned and be like, absolutely not, and look you directly in the eyes and be confident. Yeah. I think
Okay.
that child molesters are cowards. So if you call them out, they get scared. People are going to leave their parents. I think it's odd that parents will leave their kids with somebody, but they're afraid to offend somebody to ask them that direct question when it's probably the most important question you could ask anyone you were going to leave your kid with. It's not offensive because you never know, and everyone should be reserved to know you never know.
That's just, I mean, I guess.
It's a question. It's not an accusation. Is it a question or is it an accusation? That's the difference.
You would ask a babysitter if they do drugs, if they drink. You would ask them.
Oh, I would ask.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you ask if there's a chance, if, are you a deviant? Like you said, they may not come out and go, "Oh yeah," but they may give some signs that at least tip you off.
I might not come right out and ask if they're a child molester. I might ask, well, do you ever look at child porn?
Damn.
I love the interview. I might, if I was going to leave my child with them, but I didn't, like I said, I didn't leave my child with anybody.
Well, I mean, I guess that is one way to live. I don't know. Like my ex-wife was kind of like UQ, and in that respect, and I look at things a little bit differently, and I've found that closing yourself off to the rest of the world to protect yourself is not, in my opinion, healthy.
Well, I didn't. Why are we saying closing off? I didn't close off. I just didn't leave my kid with people. I was, when he wasn't in school, then I was available to my child. I was the one caring for him. And then if there was ever a reason that I couldn't be, it was only my mother he ever stayed with.
I don't know. I guess, I live in the South. I do have a little bit different environment. So, well, I say a little bit different, a lot different environment than you. We are probably a little bit too trusting in some respects down here. But at the same time, there is a native amount of suspicion. So we're not gullible necessarily. And I think in some respects, I think it actually goes too far the other way when it comes to being suspicious of strangers and things like that. When statistically speaking,
I'm not talking about being suspicious. I'm just talking about setting like a precedence for, what level I'm going to operate at with people. So this is a level of truthful and bluntness that you're going to get with me. So if I'm going to leave my child with someone, they better be ready to have that be what it is, because I live in the real world, and the real world's full of all kinds of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I do. I mean, yeah.
I said most people respect me in turn for that.
Speaking, the amount of people in this world who really seek to do you harm is relatively low. I mean, if you think about it,
Might be increasing.
What?
It might be increasing. I said because of what we were talking about in the beginning with Antifa acting up. Are you talking right now? Because I'm talking over you. Okay, hold on.
Well, you're kind of whispering over me, or I'm talking over your whisper.
My headphones sometimes kicks out. I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Shit, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. No, I was just reiterating that, I mean, it just seems like the number of people who are out to do you harm in this world is relatively low. And the ones who do seek to do you harm, statistically, again speaking, are people that you know. You're generally more likely to be harmed by a loved one, a family member, a friend, a neighbor, than you are a complete stranger.
Babysitter.
So,
I agree. And I'm not trying to say that we need to go around being suspicious of everyone. And I'm really not even suggesting that everyone go to their daycare provider and directly ask them this question. I just find it's interesting that people would feel like, even with leaving their child with someone, that it's too offensive to ask that question directly. And that was all I just wanted to get at.
Well, I think direct questions like that are, with the kind of people that do things like that, they typically, I would think, would be so I don't know, like defensive, that you would either trigger like a response that was so over the top that you would, I mean, even if
Might.
you, I don't know, I don't know. I'm trying to predict like the way that conversation would go, and it just seems to me like that would lead to a lot of
Do you think anybody ever asked Sandusky that question? Ever in his whole life until somebody finally came
I don't know.
forward?
I don't know. I don't know that anybody's ever asked me or anybody else. Like, I don't know that I've ever asked, "Are you a child molester?" Like, I don't know. Like, I don't. It's just, it does seem like it's one of those like,
Need to know kind of
yeah,
things?
I guess. I mean, yeah, it
We're
is a
all like
need to
too
know
afraid to
thing. No, I'm
ask. We
not
just want to,
disagreeing with
it's still
that,
going to
but
be a secret.
I don't expect anybody to be honest who is a child molester either.
But I don't
I mean,
think
they
that they could
managed to hide
avoid.
that shit their whole
I
fucking
don't think
lives.
that.
Like, you hear like those
Yeah,
BBC
but
executives and Jeffrey Epstein and all these people, right? Like, they seem like
yeah, but
normal
people knew.
people on the
They didn't
surface.
really hide it.
Well, you know what I'm saying.
People around
Like,
them knew. As long as they kept people around them that were like okay with it, then they weren't really hiding it. They were just, in a
Q, I think
crowd.
your mic messed up again. You got real quiet.
Well, I said with Epstein, can you hear me?
No, ma'am. I'm sorry. It's
Does
really
mic.
quiet.
All right, let's try again. Shoot. Oh, I can't hear nothing. I'll be back when I work it out.
You want to try like
Can you
exiting
hear me
and
now?
coming back in?
I
Can you hear me?
Q.
Okay.
I can hear you.
What was I saying? Oh, like with Epstein, right? Everybody around him knew what he was doing. So as long as he was surrounded by a crowd of people that knew what he
Oh,
was doing, you protected him. I mean, he could do it in plain sight, and everyone would just be like lost in doubt, or maybe ashamed.
what did you do?
Like,
Because you got
like I'm saying about asking this question, people don't ask this question because they feel like it's offensive, or they feel like they're going to do something wrong, but they probably should feel like they should have a right to ask that question.
again. I guess. I mean, you can ask anybody any question you want. I
I don't
just
know
don't
if my
expect
headset or
to.
my mic aren't working anymore.
Yeah, you sound good again. I hear you again.
At least Barney agrees with me.
I think you should be able to ask any question you want of anybody that you are expected to leave your child with. At the same time, though, I don't expect a straight answer. I don't expect an honest answer out of
He's talking to me.
somebody. Huh?
I can't hear anything again.
Yeah, No Name is talking. You hear me, right, Q?
I don't hear him.
Okay, yeah, he's talking.
Who else is
Discord's
talking?
fucking up.
No Name, do you hear Q talking?
He left.
I think it's got to be his side of the phone. But Discord does that sometimes, where it's just like all of a sudden the audio just goes to crap for everyone.
Oh, weird. Okay, so did I drop that time?
I don't know
You
what
dropped
happened.
and came back in.
Okay.
You can hear me now?
Discord's acting goofy.
Can you hear
Yeah.
Q? Okay.
I couldn't hear you at all, Sean.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, Discord was messing up. If no one can
Oh,
hear
okay, my
everyone,
bad.
yeah, it's all good now. Well, more importantly, you and Q were having a problem. You got, like I said, I'm already sitting in the chat. I'm kind of just listening in and enjoying the conversation.
Astro Rex, nobody's taking parenting advice from me. We're just discussing our different views on different issues concerning parenting. Why are you being such a little whiny brat in chat today, Astro Rex?
His time of the month.
Ooh, man, I need some food, y'all. What sounds good to eat?
I have this titled MMA and you didn't even get to it.
Oh no, I am. All it really is me letting people know. I'll do it right now, actually. Letting people know that tonight, in actually about an hour and 15 minutes, I will be starting up the UFC 247 pay-per-view. Over at my MMA Discord. Link is in the description. The MMA one. It is free. But if you are so generous and you want to donate, That'd be awesome. I've already gotten a few, so I do appreciate that. I am. This isn't a
Where do you
super chat
donate at?
situation. Say again.
Where do you donate at?
PayPal. When you join the server, you'll get a message that would give you the option to pay to do the PayPal thing. But again, in no way is anybody obligated. No matter what, you can watch the fights. If you want a talking role, and just let me know. Tag me in the little chat in that server, or DM me. Just let me know you want a talking role. I'll give you a talking role. That will be for this one. The next one may change. We'll see how this one goes. So far so good. I like to keep it this way, where it's just donation only, and everyone can watch. So that's going to be going on in about an hour and 15 minutes. I made the decision. I am not going to touch YouTube and the pay-per-view with a 100-foot stick. Just not going to do it.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I don't want to take the chance. I am worried. The reason the title says MMA and not UFC 247 is I was actually worried that the algorithms would get me, and then they would trail it along. Because believe it or not,
No, 'cause it would be through codecs. So like if the fight's not even airing yet, they wouldn't even care. So they would just think
Okay.
you were just talking about it. But if
Yeah.
you were actually playing it, the codecs would pick it up and shut it down automatically.
yeah,
It
I'm
doesn't
not.
even
Yeah,
need to be it would just be a bot that would pick up the actual video on your channel. It's like
yeah, exactly. Okay.
recognize the video.
Yeah, so everyone that if you're new to Discord, this is what will happen. You'll join the server. I'll be there. What I will be doing is sharing my live feed of the pay-per-view through Discord. You'll enter the Discord. You'll instantly be given a viewer role, which means instantly when you get there, you'll be able to hit my little live link and join the stream and watch the fights. You won't be able to talk unless you ping me or DM me and let me know you need to ask a speaking role. I've given people speaking roles that I know talk, like, on a regular basis. Davros, Brian Pick, I think No Name, I think you're in there. Not sure, Q. I gotta go through it. Like I said, I'd been clicking, making roles all day, so kind of everything
Just
got went to
joined.
blur on me. Huh? Okay, yeah.
I
Then
said I
can,
just joined.
yeah, I'll give you a speaking role. It was mainly the first, but when everyone gets there, you'll be able to join the voice chat where I'll be to join the watch the fights and everything. You won't be able to talk unless you ask for the role. That's the only thing
You said
you'll
that
really
like
need to
6
do.
times.
Say again?
You said that 6 times. I think they got that part.
I know. I'm
I
literally.
I don't have a PayPal, but I'll super chat you tomorrow.
No. I'd rather not. Don't even worry about it.
Well, I don't have a PayPal. I'd rather do the super
Okay.
chat because it's easier for me.
Well, I'd rather YouTube not get anything. I would like. I'm
Right,
gonna
but
turn off the super chat just because I hate it so much. They take so much money; it pisses me off.
they're vampires.
Yeah.
I can't even
Also, I wouldn't
monetize
even
my
see it.
channel. They won't even let me monetize my channel
Yeah,
for shit, dude.
they changed the loopholes so many times to get monetized. I'm happy I unmonetized my stuff, but only because like I do a lot of music. Like you guys hear a lot of music in the beginning and all that stuff, and those ones were the ones that were taking it because it was like I shared the link. Like I'll show you guys. Like you'll see this little thing in the corner, every once in a while, like that, a little scrolling thing. They can see it on YouTube. That like my end credits kind of keeps some of the music that I play from monetization striking me, and they just take over the monetization, which I don't really care for. But yeah, it's but yeah, that's also another reason I don't want to do it on YouTube. That's streaming on YouTube and constantly putting up your PayPal link and talking about it like I am right now. I mean, it takes a lot of times to do it, but people get like Jeranism. The way he got kicked off of PayPal was because he was using his PayPal as a super chat on YouTube, and YouTube caught on. YouTube don't like that too much.
Why did Maxwell
Yeah.
get booted from your Discord?
Oh, because 4 streams ago, They started off with their balls in your mouth talk, and it irritated me, and I told them to stop, and they decided to monologue a little bit more. And I know Max, he's a troll. Max, you
Yeah,
can
they're all
join
trolls,
you can join my MMA one. You're not going to get a talking role. I have no desire to hear your voice. You're a true troll, and you're not even good at it.
They're all
I've
trolls, Sean.
over the
That's
yeah,
all you can
but
find.
he sucks at it. Like he sits like I was listening to him in gyms last night, and like for no
I don't
reason,
know why
out of
anybody goes in
nowhere,
there, dude.
he's like
Brings up the worst in
chemo.
everybody.
He's like chemo. Would you understand gravity if I put my dog's balls on your face? Would you understand? And I'm like, dude, that's not even like it's not even funny. It just
You need
literally sounds
gravity
like
to do
all
that.
you think about is dog balls and balls in your mouth,
You don't even need
Maxwell.
gravity to do that.
No, you don't.
You don't even need gravity for that
Well,
shit.
he did add slap the balls on the dog's on his face,
I don't think
which
they're
is
that nice.
odd
There's
because I
no reason
think
for that.
Maxwell likes that a lot.
I wonder if he was looking at dog balls when he was saying that.
That's what I'm saying. I know he has a dog.
Well,
I'm just
when he
saying.
gets in the Discord, change his name to Looks at Dog Balls.
That's a
I think
good
he's a
idea.
Native American, so that'll work. Looks at Dog Balls.
It's a great idea. Yeah. So that's what's going to be going on in a little bit. I'm probably going to got another 10 minutes in me. Only because after the 10 minutes, I gotta make sure everything works. I don't want no one doing any donating or nothing with a crappy ass stream. I'd be so pissed and down on myself. So,
What kind of fight is this?
it's a UFC. It's the John Jones Dominic Reyes fight. It's for the light
That's my
heavyweight
name.
title. Huh?
Did you just say my name? Say it again. What is it?
It's the UFC 247 John Jones versus Dominic Reyes.
Yeah, that's my name.
Oh, I get it. uh, I didn't catch it on to that. But it's a UFC fights. Basically, I don't see. You already got me. I'm all self conscious now because you're like you've already repeated that 7 times. Now I'm scared. I don't want to repeat everything 88 times.
Just wrote it down like on the screen somewhere.
I will put the link in the chat. This is the link to get into the MMA channel. Again, it's free. And yeah, I'm going to sound like an asshole every blue fucking moon during the fight and let you guys know it's free. And I appreciate donations. Why? Because help is fun and it makes this matter happen more. That's why. Closer to breaking at least halfway to the fight for the pay-per-view makes next fight gonna happen. And I got Fight Pass, which means there'll be free
It's
events
not
and shit I
Dominic,
don't
it's
care about.
Dominic. You're saying his name wrong. I thought
What'd I
so.
say? What'd I say?
Dominic.
What'd I say?
Dominic is his name. You said Dominique.
Dominic, I'm sorry. Does it
I think I
matter?
saw this guy fight. Didn't this guy just fight
that
a little
kid is
while
going
ago?
to get his huh?
Guy fight this Reyes kid.
Yeah, he just
Didn't
fought
he
a
just
little. Yeah, just recently. He's no. So he's the Dominique. He's a good fighter. The problem,
Dominic. I'm gonna have to
Dominic.
get you a stone bee.
I don't care. That's why you need to be here to correct me.
If you say my name, it makes me feel weird.
Wait, bad weird? What? Okay. Well, here's the best part. In the fight world, normally what we do is this. Reyes is what I would say.
Who are you betting on? Did you bet on this?
I wouldn't bet on this fight because Jones is such a favorite. You bet $100, you'll get $3. Yeah, it's one of those different things. It put this way, the Reyes is good enough to beat most of the UFC light heavyweight roster. Jones, no. Reyes is way too fresh, new. He's only had 13 fights. In comparison, Reyes has 13 fights. John Jones has defended the title 13 times out of 24 and had 24 fights. And the only loss he had was the most bullshit call by a ref ever. And no one counts that one loss as even a loss at all.
Oh, then why don't you bet on him?
Again, I it's not worth my time. I could bet $1,000 on John Jones, and I would only take. I seriously take home $300. It'd be worthless. Now, if I bet $1,000 on Reyes and Reyes won, I would easily walk away. I'd probably go home with 10 grand. That's how much of an underdog he is. The odds.
Well, I don't know. A lot of people might want to take that then, because $100 isn't much.
Well, I don't have that kind of money to just take a chance. I've done betting like that, and it works. When it works great.
If it was boxing, I would bet on it because I never lose.
I don't know if
So I'm really
that's
good
the
at
odd part.
betting
I
on
fight,
boxing.
I train, I hate boxing so much. I just don't watch it enough to understand how
Dude,
you would bet on it.
I could tell you after the first round who's going to win the fight every time, 100%.
I have a better chance of calling horse races than I do a boxing match. MMA matches, I'm pretty decent at. For all you guys who are like, you're lying, Sean. You picked Cowboy over McGregor. McGregor did a move that he had never done before. Good on him. Excellent move. And remember, sometimes you do stupid shit in a fight, like Cowboy did, and here's what it is. I've never broke my nose, so luckily I've never had to deal with this. I've dealt with and helped and seen this 1,000 times. You break your nose, if you don't breathe out your nose just looks funny. And it hurts a little bit, but nothing drastic happens at all. The second you realize your nose is stuffy and your natural reaction is to blow your nose, all hell breaks loose. Let's get this
If you
for
just
one.
get hit in the face and your nose feels stuffy, I hope you don't think it's because you had a cold.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of people don't know what happens don't know actually how terrible blowing out your nose is after that. Your eyes usually will swell up, turn black and blue.
My nose broke.
Huh? Yeah. Okay. So then the second.
Nose broke.
Yeah. So the second you break your nose.
I can take
blew
my
out.
nose and I can click it over to the side, and my nose
Oh,
is
that's
crooked.
so
and
gross.
click it back.
Oh, that's gross. Did you fix it? Did someone fix it themselves, or did you go to the doctor?
No, because No, because my mother actually broke my nose by hitting me in the face with a 2x4 when I was 11 years old.
Wow.
I said it like that not because it bothers me, but just because I knew it was going to I don't want anybody to get upset or worry about me. It's fine.
Hey Q, I think we had the same mom.
Is he kicking out again, or is it me?
No, you're cutting out in and out.
Oh, that's weird. My voice connected thing is green. How am I sounding?
You sound good right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
no, I was just saying that I think you and I had the same mom, Q.
We all had that mom. Oh, not two word to the face though.
Yeah, my stepdad put me through a wall when I was 12. My mom broke a broom handle over my back when I was like 12 or 13. Yeah.
My mom broke like 18 wooden spoons.
I have a question. No name. How bad of a kid were you though? Because
I was an asshole.
Yeah, because there's I realize this. There's a gradient. There are situations where the kid is innocent and the parents are assholes. Period. But there are also situations where kids are assholes and deserve every bit of that shit.
No,
let's not forget about that.
I mean,
I don't think that there's ever
no,
really
yeah,
an
no, that
instance where a kid deserves
I'm
to get
admitting
smacked
my
in the face
part.
with a 2x4, though. Just to be
Yeah,
fair.
there's
Oh
no
well,
excuse.
there are situations I could think of. I'd rather not say, but
It's
I'm
gonna be
sure there
illegal.
is. I mean, I'm not saying you by any means, but I'm
Yeah,
saying
like
that
if
there
if a
are.
motherfucker's coming at me with a knife, he's getting smacked in the face with a
See,
2x4.
yeah,
I
see,
don't
that's a
11 years old. What 11-year-old comes at anybody with a knife?
Oh,
I
there's
was
a. You
11
should
years
read the
old once.
news.
I cut
Yeah.
a motherfucker.
I
I would cut a
I'm not gonna.
motherfucker at 11
I
years
will
old.
not. I will not
I've
disclose
babysat a
who.
lot of people, and I
Hey,
never
Q.
had
No,
anyone under
Q.
the age of 13 get knives.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
act
Hey, Q.
idiots.
Check this out. I won't disclose who,
I grew up
but at
on the
11
west
years
side of
old,
Tuscaloosa,
I
Alabama,
threatened an
Q. I
adult
cut a
with a baseball
motherfucker at
bat.
11.
I'm going to tell you right now.
A
11-year-olds are
baseball
crazy.
bat. Okay, well, what was he
Yeah.
doing?
Huh? No,
What was the
I
guy
will.
doing?
I will not disclose. It will give too much information. But I will tell you now. 11-year-olds are crazy.
We are insane, man.
I
All those
didn't.
hormones and shit. I was going through puberty at 10, Q. I would
Yeah,
cut
yeah.
a
Maybe
motherfucker.
that's
I
what it is.
wasn't.
Yo, that's the thing. Maybe that's what
I
it is.
was
You know, you're a little girl. Little
sitting
boys are
there. I was
assholes.
standing there laughing and singing a little song, and my mom hated to see me feeling good and smiling, so she smacked me in the face with a 2x4. And there's more to the story, but I'm not going to continue it.
Jesus. Now, mine
More,
wasn't
you
that
if you
bad.
think that's brutal, you wouldn't want to see what happened next.
That sounds pretty fucking brutal. I'm not gonna lie
It,
to you.
it gets more brutal. It gets way more
I'm
brutal.
gonna tell you that tops any of the stories I got.
Hey, Q.
Yeah.
Internet fist bump.
Thanks. I'm all right, dude. I survived. Look at me. I can turn my nose to
Because
the
I'd have
side.
killed a motherfucker.
I can make my nose go click, click, and then make
Oh,
it
that's so
crooked or make it
gross.
straight, dude. I can make it look
That's
like I
gross.
had an instant nose job. I could do a video before and after in like 10 seconds. I got all these opportunities, dude, you know? Can we stop talking about my nose now? All right.
You brought it up.
That's just, I don't even know why anymore. Oh, because you were talking about breaking noses. And I was like, yeah, I am. My nose broke.
Yeah, that's because when people
So I know what
blow
it's
out, the nose starts flowing, their eyes turn black and blue, and
No,
they
my
can't
nose
breathe.
just started
Oh,
gushing
I
blood
know
all over down in
why.
front of me.
Yeah. Now I remember why we were talking about this. Because Cowboy Cerrone, the 30-second fight. I'm gonna tell people now. I'm not expecting I expect that the co-main event's gonna be better than the main event. Only that's for the 145 women's belt, 135 women's belt. But Valerie, blah blah. I can't even say her. I'm not even gonna try. She's a good fighter. It's gonna be fun.
Valerie, blah, blah, blah. She's
Yeah.
awesome.
I don't know the name. I forget her name. But I do know
But she's
I'm
good.
I'm not gonna show the first, like, they have these preliminary fights. I'm not showing those as like the first hour. So I'm gonna start like at 4, so literally an hour from now, I'm gonna start the stream up, and everyone can start
And it's
joining
going to
again.
be for free, but donations would be appreciated
Yes, absolutely.
in this
Again,
Discord server. The link
I'll
is in the
send dick
description.
I'll send
Link in
dick pics to
description.
anybody who donates.
Ew.
To Sean's,
What the hell just happened?
if they want. If they want.
Nobody wants.
No,
Who the fuck
no one
wants?
that.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm throwing it out
Dude,
there.
this is
putting it
the
on
wrong
table.
site for that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. My bad. I don't know if
pretty
we're on
sure
Discord
I
or
set it
YouTube
up
these
correctly.
days.
You want to be on ClearNet for that kind of stuff.
Oh, mini vids is what I hear.
Okay. I'm about to fix it right now. I don't think you guys can do it now, but we'll be able to in a second. You guys can send invites to anybody. I would like to get as many. Can?
I don't have any friends that don't already know you.
What?
I don't have any friends that don't already know you, so like send me an invite.
Weird, right? Like everybody. I already know everybody. Oh yeah. That's like the hard part about it. I was like, hey, I got this thing going on. I should only really be saying it one time. Right, now everyone can send invites. And I know it's not everyone because I'm looking at it right now and only 37 people have joined. It's actually really good because
It's more
really
than people
only
are
opened the site up
watching.
today. That's weird because I only opened it up today. right now.
It must be the FBI.
Yeah, they called me. I mean, no, I don't talk to them. Yeah, awesome,
Did you
Willie.
catch my new video, Sean? Sean, I'm gonna plug my video.
Oh wait, did you upload it yet?
I uploaded 2, but there's one more. I still gotta finish a couple things, and then it'll probably be up tomorrow. But
So
yeah,
this
there's
time
2
when I
up
say,
right
"Can
now.
I have the link?" You actually have the link.
I do have a link. I don't have it ready because I don't know. I wasn't thinking like that.
Oh, and I want to say this now. Anyone who goes over and listens to Rumpus talk, fuck you. In the nicest way.
Where's Rumpus talking at?
I'm not saying. We all have the same
I
friends, so
didn't
you
even
probably
hear
should
what you
see the
said.
notification. I think I heard you. I heard him.
Going over and talking to who?
There you go. Yeah, you're working now. No, I was just kidding. Alk is live right now. He's talking to they're talking about the black swan analysis with the Rumpus.
Oh, LK
Oh,
watched
no.
my video. He liked
That
it.
thing.
He said, excellent job, Q, but a difficult watch. There are some truly depraved and depressing people involved. Look forward to seeing the rest, despite that being the case. You've done a lot of work bringing it all together, and it's interesting to see the overlap between the groups. It actually touches on something I'm working on myself, which I don't know, but I'm interested. So that was me speaking in my opinion. I shouldn't have interrupted the comma. So the timing is perfect, and the material interesting from a research POV too. Thanks for putting the word. See, that's a nice comment. That's like the best comment.
Okay, so
LK
you
watched.
actually so this is like a documentary?
Well, I don't think I should get the credit for this documentary thing because it's really just everything that are in these videos is stuff that I found on the internet, and I just kind of grouped it all together in a weird storyline that is, I feel like it's just literally the motherfucking truth. So give me a break. But I did some of my own like editing and little graphic choices here and there, but for the most part, I tried to be leaving everything just as it was created by the original posters. You know, I also tried to not make them 2 hours long, but the third one, I just can't help it.
Well, I tend to think if there's anybody that's going to make, if there's anybody that's going to make some sort of expose documentary, it should be you, Q, because you are pretty intimately familiar with the interactions with these social groups, that people hang out in.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of what you do. Yeah.
Well, this is going to be very enlightening to a lot of people. I think that especially in this group with people who are dealing with some of these flat earthers, you're going to find a lot of overlapping themes and even vocabulary and ideals there too. So I feel like it's all connected. Yeah, it's an hour long, Sean, but it's it's depraved.
No, I'm showing the page right now.
You got
And I'm just kind of just jumping through it so people kind of see what what's in it and everything.
it'd be hard to grasp the concept from just these little snippets because it's
Yeah, no,
just
but
very, very detailed.
I could tell. I coming through it. No, yeah, I'm gonna check it out. I was gonna play some
Basically,
of it, but I didn't realize
this
it
will
was
tell
actually
you
that long.
this will tell you like a lot. This is very informative, and it's basically a lot of people have made videos on the subject, and I've taken a bunch of different videos and put them together in a way that gives you the whole story. And the third one I'm yet to put out, so you don't know the conclusion, but it's you need to give me props because like this shit was hard for me to listen to and edit and take in, and the second one makes me cry still. So I probably won't even be watching it
So let me get
ever
this straight.
again.
So when you were or yesterday when we were asking where you were, and you said you were working on these things, you were actually working on these things.
Yes. These videos, I've been working on these videos for a long time, just researching all the different stuff and getting it all together and then editing it all up. It's like it's like as if I've just made 3
Damn, you've been pouring through some dark psyches, haven't you?
Oh yeah.
I mean, there really is a lot of kind of demented people in these
Well, there
groups.
like in the second one, there's some pretty graphic violence and gore. But I did have a lot more graphic violence and gore that I could put in because I do have videos from the time that they were actually being live streamed that I happened to catch at that moment, but I didn't want to put it in my video because I was pretty sure it would get it taken down.
Wait a
So I
minute, you
put what I
caught you
thought I
caught
could
live
get away with.
streams where there's blood and gore and everything?
Yeah.
Like, well, who are you making like a compilation of?
Incels.
Huh?
Incels. Incels, the movie. And there's 3 of them.
Oh, incels. Oh, got it. Oh, okay. No, I wasn't even aware you were talking about incel.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
kind of like
there's some messed up stuff in incel forums. Oh yeah.
yeah, well, I've got 3 videos I made trying to basically educate people on like what is this mindset, what is actually going on, how I feel like mostly what it does is it points out like everyone in the video is a hypocrite. Everyone, the media, everyone's acting like, oh, they don't really like, they're all playing aloof. I just find it everyone is very irresponsible and stupid. So it's like kind of when you go through it, I don't know what you'll think of it, but I know what I'm trying to point out is that this is what the problem is people who think this way.
I got a buddy of mine that I lost to those incel fuckers, and I just, his worldview is straight up wackadoo conspiracy theorist. I mean, he followed that rabbit hole down and it just turned him into I don't know. It's like he's self-radicalized or something. It's really weird.
That's how it works.
Yeah, he got into the black pill nonsense.
Yeah. Well, it started out with the red pill stuff. We were on the phone one day, and look, I'm not trying to talk out of school or nothing, but he was dropping some really like misogynistic, shit. And I was like, that don't sound like you. What's going on? And like, he just been through like a string of really, really bad relationships. And I don't know, he fit the bill of angry, bitter, disenfranchised feeling, white guy, right? Like he's in his mid 40s. He's in a rural part of Tennessee in the middle of nowhere. He's not really part of the gig economy, but he's not, he doesn't have like a career. And he just kind of went down this YouTube rabbit hole of conspiracy theories because he went, he kept getting fired and arrested for pot. And he just turned into a one day he just snapped and dumped cold cooking grease. It was like used cooking grease over this woman's head. Right. And I mean, it's not
so he
just,
actually enacted on it.
Yeah, like I said, it's not just rhetoric, y'all. It's not just talk. I mean, it leads to real world action sometimes. I'm not saying in every case, but
in some cases, yes.
Yeah.
In some cases, yeah. Most of the time, I think incels, yeah, they are kind of disenfranchised guys that have a feeling of helplessness, and they want to, desperately reach out to another group to kind of commiserate with. But a lot of times it's just people kind of acting out fantasies, even, all the messed up crap that you might find on like incel forums where they can just kind of feel comfortable to vent, a lot of messed up shit. That's them pretty much just playing out fantasies. But sometimes,
yeah, he talked a lot. He used a lot of dog whistle terms like traditional values. Like that's how it started. I was like, traditional values? What are you talking about? And he's like, stay at home mom, blah, blah, blah. And like 1950s Ozzie and Harriet stuff. And I'm like, oh,
they hate feminism.
Yeah. I'm like, that ship is sailed, Bubba. You got him. He's move on. Just moving on.
Yeah, but see, I don't think
it seems to be a really messy landscape too, because sometimes you just get MGTOW people, just kind of hanging around the perimeters of the hardcore incels, and then sometimes you just have straight up people that manifest bad behavior because of it. So it's kind of hard to pin down if someone's going to truly be dangerous about it.
Yeah, that's part of what my videos are about too, because the media blames, society a lot for not being able to figure out who these people are, So there's a little bit of that expressed to show like how, the media is constantly making everybody feel like they got to figure out who these people are. And it's just like, it's all just dangerous, in my opinion. I think that probably what it is that no matter what with these guys, like even if they got like 7 girlfriends and the government didn't let them get divorced or some shit, they'd still be miserable. They'd still hate themselves and everything else because that's what's wrong with them. They're
Right.
just
No,
like
you're right.
this.
You're absolutely right. No amount of power fantasy is gonna fix them. And I think that's more of a testament to, the fact that we don't have a really good mental health infrastructure in this country. I think we kind of stigmatize
Like
mental and emotional health and
they're like the oil in the water,
downplay
dude.
Well, I mean, at least we have one though. There's other parts of the world where they don't have any kind of,
fair.
mental health hotlines or anything. But
I
yeah,
don't think they're treating mental health correctly. I don't think they're treating it correctly. I think that these people, these alt-right people and these incel people, I think they're all fucking mentally ill, okay? They're victims, people who have been treated really poorly like this. And they're just suffering like the effects of these other people's mental illness, right? And the trauma that it caused them. And then when you look at, so then if you say the mental illness is actually these people who hate everybody and traumatize everybody and do all this fucked up shit and say things that trigger people and upset people all the time. And you say, well, that's all mental illness in the world. And you say things like schizophrenia are really physical illness, right? And that's it. Then how do you treat that with a pill? Misogyny with a pill. You don't. And it's not misogyny. It's hate. It's not an ideology. It's mental illness. That's what my video proposes, is that these people are mentally sick and people are pretending that it's an ideology. And it validates their mental illness, and it shouldn't be done.
Well, I wouldn't really characterize most incels as mental illness, though. They're kind of caught up in kind of a cult mentality, but
It's a varying
they're
degree.
very serious about it, of course. But I don't think it's a mental illness, honestly. With a lot of them, some of them, yes, but
Well, I
most
think
of
it's
them, no.
probably just a varying degree. Some of them are more mentally ill than others, but all of them have some sort of, slight personality disorder, something that's keeping them from feeling like they can engage in the world like what they would consider normal people are, or regular people,
Yeah.
or people who aren't them.
I can't speak to that 100%, but in the one instance of the person, so again, this is entirely anecdotal. So he might be the complete absolute anomaly, but he started out bipolar like before he became a incel. And like when I didn't know anything about incels until like, I don't know, right before all this happened. He started using all these weird terms I'd never heard before, like MGTOW and PUA. He called me something weird one time, and I was like, "What language was that?" He called me a MGTOW PUA. And I was like, "What's that?"
Oh,
And he goes, "A MGTOW is a man
Moved your-
going their
who
own way,
is a pickup artist?
and a PUA is a pickup artist." And I was like, "Oh, a what now? Me?" And he's like, "Yeah, because you've got game." And I'm like, "Me? I was married for 16 years. I don't have any game." And because I'd been divorced for a little while, and he was commiserating with me about women and how awful they were. And I was like, "What are you talking about? Women aren't awful. Women are some of my favorite people. Some of my favorite people are women." And I guess he thought since I'd gone through a divorce and it was a bitter one and things weren't good, and she done me
You
wrong,
should hate women.
that I should hate women. I was
You're
like,
a total Chad there, no name.
"What?"
That's
I
just
said
bad.
you're a total Chad there, no name.
Yeah. So okay. So that was my introduction to this red pill shit, right? And so he was like, watch these videos, just like the Flurfs do, right? And I said, okay. So I watched like half a dozen of various videos that he sent me links to. And the overall narrative was this boo hoo hoo, wah wah, cry cry. I am a member of the class of human being that won the genetic lottery, a white, straight American male, right? Like in the 21st century, and you're all boo boo, wah wah, cry cry. I'm losing my rights. Women should be subservient, basically. Like they won't come right out and say it, or some of them will.
Oh, they will, yeah.
They need to. Basically, women should provide me sex at my command, I guess. I mean, is that?
Yeah, a lot of them literally think that.
The impression that they're people, and they do.
See, I didn't know any of this at first, and so when I looked into it, and I brought up I think I jokingly referred to someone. Oh yeah. I was telling him about this Russian vids guy. Like he didn't know anything about the flat Earth conspiracy people, and I was swapping conspiracy theories with him one day, and I told him about the flat Earth, and I was like, I got you there, Russian vids, and I sent him a link to this conversation with Russian vids on Sean Hufford's channel one night, and it blew his mind, right? He was like, this is crazy talk. There's a million different ways you can prove the shape of the earth. And I was like, yes, God, that's what you sound like to me. Right? Like that's what you sound like.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good way of elucidating that to someone.
I think Chris, he's getting really upset. He's calling me a feminist. He's labeling me. He must be an incel.
Yeah,
he must have been indoctrinated by flat Earth and the incel.
Okay.
Mission going on, dude.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. Guess what? Since she's been here the past couple of days, my views went up, so that's definitely not. She's not a feminist per se. And here's the thing: the content has been going the whole time in. Don't mind. So at that point,
come on. Why doesn't he come on here?
Wait. Here's the thing, Chris. You said, "Am I on the show whining?" I said at the moment, nope. But then I just realized you're fucking whining in the chat.
Who says label me as a feminist? Oh, that's how you prove that they're feminist? By 2 words?
You're literally whining in the chat right now. Yeah, Chris. Lately my views have been pretty down. So yeah, 20 is pretty good right now.
He's just upset because I made a video about all his friends and they look bad.
Ooh. Burn.
Chris Berry, do you ever actually go through your text chats and kind of self-critique yourself? Because yeah, it's a lot of it's whining.
Very much so.
I just got to be straight with you.
Someone say obstructions due to curvature. Someone say it.
Obstruction due to curvature?
No, it's not.
Curvature.
That's what Chris does. No.
Yes.
It's
not.
Yes,
because no one I know talks like that. Label me Channel Q. Well, you don't know very many people, Chris. It's not like you're the most popular. You're really not very popular. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised that you don't know very many people who say very many things.
Am I popular?
Chris.
Yay.
And a lot of people know Chris and they don't even like him. So there's that too.
I like Chris. Chris, just so you know, I started training again about a month ago. I've been really working on this combination right now where it's go into Z guard, flower sweep, into an anaconda. Figure it out. I'm coming for you, kid. I met Travis. Now I'm going for you. In a friendly way.
Do I have to like Chris?
No, you don't. No one has to like Chris. Me and Chris have something in common. That's the only reason why I like him.
Oh, I'm still pissed about what he said about my family, so I just curious. Hey, No Name, why did you send me a link to a Discord I'm already a member of?
He probably meant to send you one.
I was just sending out invites for people to come hang out. I was missing you guys. Hadn't hung out in a while. I've been working a lot of 12-hour shifts, and those shifts have been swinging between 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. to 2 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's been a weird last couple of weeks. So,
No problem.
Yes, there is
Hey,
very much
Sean,
so.
what time are we switching over to the? What time are we switching over to the other one?
I'm gonna start.
About 40 minutes.
I'm gonna start the fights in about 40 minutes. Where I'm not playing the first couple fights. They're usually really really boring. But I'm gonna play. We'll probably end up watching about 10 fights. But yeah, about 40 minutes, 4 o'clock my time. So yeah, about 40 minutes. I'm gonna get everything cranked up. I'm actually the reason I'm so quiet in the past 45 minutes is I'm just setting everything up, making sure everyone has roles, making sure everything's gonna work, making sure the monitor that I'm playing on is the best monitor for viewing, all that crap. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of not here right now. I'm listening, but I'm not.
I had to get
I'm
a new
not.
monitor. My old monitor exploded.
Actually, just got so a friend. I'm so lucky. I didn't have to buy it. A friend of mine kind of traded, but he had a Samsung 4K monitor. It's not a 32. It's a one smaller. I think it's a 27 or 28 like that. But it's a 4K. I'm blown away by this screen. Like I'm trying to figure out how I can make everything on this screen so I don't have to look at any of my other crappy screens ever again. So I'm pretty pissed off right now. But I'm just in all of it right now.
I don't feel like my screen looks any better. I don't know if it's my eyes, but I did get a new monitor. But maybe, like, the guy told me to plug it in a DVI thing, but I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, that's so the blue, the VGA one, the regular one that everyone knows.
Yeah, he
On
told
the
me it was
back of the
white, but I
computer. Yeah, it's
couldn't
white.
find the
It's
thing on the
bigger.
computer.
It's on the back.
I couldn't find
So
it on
like,
the computer. All
so
right.
there should be, the blue one, right? The regular one.
Yeah, the blue one, but I never unplugged it. I just unplugged
Uh,
that cord from the monitor, you know what I mean? And then just plugged
well,
it back into the
if you look at
monitor.
the back of your monitor, there's two of them, usually two of them. One's
Yeah.
usually the VGA, and the other one's the DVI, and that's the one that's longer, and it has like a prong that's vertical in there. Just a little longer.
Okay.
It's better. Right now, the new monitor and two of my monitors that I have, I used it's not the HDMI. It is the new one. I forget what it's called though, but it's weird shaped. It looks like the HDMI, but one side is more rectangle or more square, I guess you would say. I like those ones.
Yeah, I got
But
this. The only size they had was like this long one. It's like a long rectangle, but it's the same height as my other one, so everything's just like stretched out left to right now.
oh, you know about your monitor? See,
Yeah,
I also have a display port one. Thank you.
it's the only one they had. It only cost me $40, so I mean,
Well, it's the quality. See, here's the other thing. I have two
it's like a pawn store.
GPUs that I dedicate pretty much all my good monitors to. So like I kind of have three, but my processor doesn't really count as one. But I have two other GPUs. So like my monitors, I can adjust them and control them, but my monitors use full power. Like they're not holding back at all. But that was like the biggest, probably the best upgrade I have seen and been able to see is upgrading to GPU instead of just relying
Maybe
on the CPU.
I'll go through all the trouble and try to figure out how to do this DVI thing later when I feel like turning my computer off and shit. See if I
Yeah.
turn it on and I'm like, oh my god, my eyes work.
DPS, the systematic 2333. Let's check that out. Systematic one or whatever. Like I said, it was a buddy of mine. I didn't come with a box and a whole manual and instructions. All it says is Samsung, and I had on my Nvidia GPU. It said it gave me the option for 4K, so I picked it, and I can tell. But I've also
Okay.
always been running 720. What's up?
Hellsoy, I just want to tell Hellsoy something because I think he'll appreciate it. The monitor that I had to replace with this new one that I just got last week, when it finally gave out, it was so bad it wouldn't even it was just a black screen, and I literally had to squeeze it to get it to I could see to turn my computer off. It was crazy. But I had that computer monitor since before the World Trade Centers collapsed, dude. So it's 20 years.
Holy shit.
That's me. If I buy something, I'm gonna keep it till it explodes or doesn't turn on anymore. I'm not gonna replace it if it still works.
Well, I'm the same way too, but my shit tends to explode much more quickly.
Oh,
I tend to keep things until they no longer have use. It doesn't matter if they explode or not.
computer monitor is not gonna run out of use.
If that use is less than my new monitor, then it's not. Then it's worth the sell.
I had to throw mine away because it, like I said, lost the will to live.
Strange enough, I think my grandfather still has one of the working HP compact all-in-one computers from the early 2000s.
My grandma has one. I don't know if it still works.
You forget how slow things used to be. He tried to boot it up. My grandfather tried to boot it up one day, and I was just convinced it was broken. Turns out it just needed the
Just took
color
all
turned
day.
all the way up.
How many of you remember doing shit on AOL and waiting
I
for
do.
that stupid little Connect?
I used to get the free discs from the drugstore, so you could get a free subscription and go online with it with the disc.
Yep. You've got mail.
My what movie is that from?
Any movie about email?
I thought it was a movie.
It was. It had Tom Hanks in it. It was You've Got Mail.
Sleepless in Seattle.
Yeah, Sleepless in
It was
Seattle.
called "You Got Mail."
Now I just feel gay for no.
I
I was like, someone say it. Don't make me fucking say it.
Well, that's some late '90s Sandra Bullock movie.
don't. Wasn't it Meg Ryan or some shit? I thought it was a blonde.
Oh yeah, maybe it was Meg Ryan.
Always tell when no name's eating.
Oops.
Hey, sugar pie.
Sup, baby doll?
Enjoying my pepperoni and pineapple pizza.
Yuck.
I'm enjoying pizza, but not of the pepperoni. I mean, not of the pineapple variety.
I believe I'm about to actually go cook some steaks.
Bastard.
I don't know what I want.
States a bowl of green peas.
Not
What?
that.
Sweet peas are good.
Oh yeah, I don't do that vegetable.
Just steamed sweet peas, and you put them in a bowl, and then you eat them with a toothpick.
Well, the anticipation level has been high to see Austin
That's
Lingo make
just
his
not
way to the
enough.
UFC. And now
That's
he's
too
here
much work.
and looking to clock out.
That's what you use for silverware, a toothpick.
No, it's my last cheat day. I'm quitting smoking next week. Life will be hell, so if I'm a dickhead next week, I apologize in advance.
No. If you're a dickhead next week, absolutely nothing will have changed.
If you're a dickhead, you have to do like I do and disappear for a while till you feel like not being a dickhead.
I said I'm going to quit smoking, Sean.
Also, I caught me. I got busted. Yes. Also, that was me loading the prelims. Yes, I am. Everything is in the works, and I realized I was doing it on this live. And
I didn't hear it.
You guys didn't hear it because you guys would have to. You guys hear my feed, and then what's going into my ears, YouTube hears. You guys don't hear.
Oh, okay.
And I was on another tab, opening up the prelims and setting up the screen, and Houseway and everyone basically heard it. So it was just him talking about like a fight coming up.
There's a guy in here, he's been arguing flat earth the whole time. We haven't even been talking about flat earth.
Oh, we got Rocky in the chat. That'll do it.
So many downvotes. He's only got 5 downvotes. It's not like Arwen.
Oh, you guys missed all the fun on Jose's Discord earlier.
Define fun.
I love that Discord because I was constantly being attacked for being a Jew.
Pete Shea and
Jewish?
Lemonbird going at each other over religion.
Oh, that doesn't even sound fun. That just sounds like a headache waiting to happen. You might have more fun. You might have more fun taking a drill and putting it on slow and seeing how quickly the pain begins.
The best part,
You know what?
Allie
That
B
sounds
was
like
trying to
suicide
moderate.
No.
Yeah.
God, that sounds like. I
Did
could
they
just
pay you to come over
munch
here
popcorn.
and talk about them?
He did.
No,
Just kidding.
I was eating dinner when No Name sent me a link.
Yeah, I thought you might want to hang out before the fight and watch the fight with us later.
Well, that's the plan, but
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Well, Sean asked me to share out link with my friends, so I just didn't know if you knew.
I didn't know you meant fucking Crash, dude.
Oh, sorry.
I got an invite early this morning, and then I asked for a robot roll in the chat.
Robot
You
roll.
deserve a robot roll.
Bob, I think Bob was using your connection earlier.
Dr. Bob?
Anything.
Was he roboting?
He was coming in and out a lot, cutting in and out a lot. Yeah.
I should
He's
market
really
it as
upset
a
about
filter
the measles.
for voice changing apps.
Or you could just practice all the.
Do I
That's
do that?
effort. That was painful. Sorry.
No, that's what Crash does every 5 seconds.
And when y'all meet up in
Does-
person and I
does-
talk
when
the
he's
same way,
talking
you
his-
hear me.
like the Crash talks, talk to you guys.
If you talk the same way when I meet Crash, I'm fucking bad. In a funny way.
UFC shit.
Yep. That's my other channel. That's the other YouTube channel. That's my also server.
Is that a video game?
Nope.
It should be.
They don't have MMA video games?
I don't play grown man.
So is No Name, but what's your point?
I know. I feel bad when I say it, but I feel so strongly about it.
What if I play video games?
Anyone play video games? It's loud.
Wait, what am I being
You
dragged
don't
into?
actually play video games.
Huh?
No
You
Name
play
is
video
simple.
games
Do
too.
you or do you not play video games?
I do not.
Ah, damn, I was wrong.
Flying to Thailand at 15.
Yeah, the only
you play
video
video
games I
games?
ever played were like Command and Conquer and Civilization, Alpha Centauri. You know, the kind of the world building strategy war games. I never did like first person shooters or MMOs or anything like that. Well, I did play Ultima Online for a minute.
Don't worry, no, he's always wrong.
Just for the moment,
okay.
I'm going to be sharing what's going on in the fights right now. So you guys join it. Just so I want to make sure. Again, it's not happening here, but we're here now. YouTube, I'm sorry, I gave you guys a snippet, but I'm not showing these fights on you. I can't really find him right. Let me know you guys can hear it and everything. If you look on the voice chat list, you'll see my name. It says live. You click on that, it'll say join stream, and then you'll be able to watch that. The fights are on there, right? You should be able to, right? Because we were talking on Jose's. I hear you. No name. Oh, okay. Yeah, you would hear it, but no one can hear you guys. My bad. No, yeah, I don't have any volume playing on it right now, so that you're not going to hear anything. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. I'll get that going in about 20 minutes. Again, let me go ahead and make this very.
While I was in that live button, I clicked next to your name and I
Huh?
wrote the song. I wrote the song while I was in there, and I sang the song. I said, "You can't hear me talking. You can't hear me talking. You can't hear." Okay.
Wait, but no name.
Well,
You're watching right now, right?
I'm what?
Are you
To me,
watching?
it's choppy.
Yeah, I'm watching. It's choppy though.
The video is?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
it's like I'm
probably
watching
because
a bunch of still frames slowly
Okay.
blurred together.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know
I
why.
hovered over this live button. It says join stream. I clicked join stream. It took me into where the video was. It was loading the whole time, and I wrote that song, and you never heard me.
Okay, well, the reason is because I'm
So,
streaming on my OBS, so I gotta shut down. I don't need my OBS for this.
yeah,
That's
you're
fine.
running about 4 frames a second right there.
I'm looking at my OBS in the last 30 seconds. Went from 8% CPU usage to right now I'm pushing at 48 right now. So I know right now my computer is puffing and puffing. That's why I want to end the stream
Oh,
right
we
now.
got a
'cause
nose
I gotta
break
get this
already.
set
Sweet.
up.
You want to take out of that porn, Sean. That's taking up a lot of energy.
Again, I do need to.
Hey, no name. Nicole's got a gift she wants to say.
Okay, so
Oh, yeah?
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream, guys. Let me put the
Petriche steer. Petriche steer. That's funny.
There's got to be 1,000 invites out
See
there
what I
now,
did there? See what I did
but
there?
you guys can use it.
Yeah, he sees what you did there. He's the master of seeing what you did there.
Okay, so for you guys
Tree in
in
the
here,
center.
I'm gonna put the link to the other server in here if you're not part of it, and then just ping me in the chat if you want to talk and roll, because I'm gonna move everything over there right now. So I'm gonna end it right now, and I'll be over there in a second. So I gotta end
Alright.
or
See you
actually,
there, bud.
I'll actually leave it going now, and then as soon as I'm done with the YouTube stream, I'm gonna end it and go to the other one. But for right now, you guys can just hang out and watch.
Okay.
Alright.
It's gonna be choppy until I end my OBS though.
We,
second.
we got you a patch for your jacket the other day, no name.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this stream. Again, if you haven't joined it yet, the link is in the description below. I'm not going to be showing it on YouTube at all. So don't think it's gonna happen. Don't hope it's gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Trying to turn it off there. Again, the stream is 100% free. You guys are all welcome to come and hang out and just BS and watch the fight. All you need to do to let me know, once you get on my server, you'll be able to instantly be able to watch. You will not have a talking role. You need to let me know in the chat or on a DM that you need a talking role so you can engage in the conversation. Again, it's free. Donations would help only to just keep it more motivating, to keep it going and doing this all the other times. I got the UFC Fight Pass, so I'll probably do like all the small fights. Those are the ones that'll be 100% no donation, please. But this one, these ones are kind of a little costly, and regardless, donations will just help. But everyone are welcome, everyone. So let everyone know you're going to do this. Hand out invites, doesn't matter. But the fights will be starting in about 20 minutes. So I'm gonna see you guys later. You guys have a good one. Thanks for joining me. I'm out. Peace.